Welcome, welcome. Wow, we have a lot of people in here. I'm guessing I just mentioned, we do a special process today and things, things go a little different. All right, let's see. The usual. Gotta do some quality checks. Is it time? Yes, it's time, Aton. Yusuf, bro, you go so deep with your theories. It's crazy. Simply adds more beauty to what is already the amazing story of One Piece. Yo, I appreciate that. I'm glad you enjoyed it. It's about to get crazier. Let me connect you to my vision, the ParVision. Hey. All right. So let me know how the audio is for you guys. Sup, Parsa? I'm good. Like the stream? Yep. All right. So let's come into play. Let's come into picture here. Let's see. Why isn't it? Okay, there it's showing. And the chat's working. All right, cool. So you guys know what's good here. We got the voice of all things today, but today's a special day because it's Thursday, and if you guys know, with the voice of all things, it's usually on the weekends. Thursday is for the knock up stream. We're supposed to get knocked up by Oda on Thursdays, but that's not what's happening today. So yeah, today, Thursday, voice of all things. It's a special episode. They canceled Revery for this. Yeah, 100%. That's what happened. So that being said, I don't know how many of you guys were here earlier, not here, but on the Hidden Island. He premiered a video earlier today. It was a longer video, 45 minutes, but in the video, it was, like a lot of the things that we're going to talk about today, we're going to be discussing a lot of stuff. And so what he discussed was about talking about the wait, what's that sound? Wait, oh no, I think we have to buster call the Hidden Island. I think that's what has to happen here. Oh no, it's going after the Hidden Island porn act. Oh no, steps. I guess we're getting, okay, so that takes me to the Hidden Island. Here we are. Welcome to the stream.
Hello, my friend. Glad to be on the stream. I had to answer the Buster call. The Buster call pulling up. I have no options. Left.
Yo, after that video, you had to be Buster called. It was immediate too. Yeah. I didn't even give you a day to rest. I didn't even give you an hour to rest. It was immediate. The immediate Buster call, because this video was absolutely insane. So if you guys don't know who this is the Hidden Island, and I have his channel posted up here. The links will be in the description, and Fandom Greyfire is already on it. He's going to be sending out the link. So if you're not subscribed already, go subscribe. And so on my personal take, I just want to say this before Hidden Island introduces himself. His channel is so different from mine, not because I would say it's better than mine, but the main thing about it is like, and Larry from that One Piece Talk said it best yesterday. We were talking about you all the time. Yeah. So the thing is, it's like when you watch his videos, it's like you're taken to another world. It's like you're taken to like this environment, and you learn, and the voice and the editing and just the storytelling that you have, it's extremely beautiful. And I think while we were joking, I was just like, yo, Hidden's a genius. But I think the word, like, to encompass like your channel and you and that video you just put out is beautiful. I think it, like, everything about it was beautiful. So Hidden, do your intro, share it with everyone who you are.
I appreciate you, bro. That is an amazing intro. I would definitely prefer beautiful to genius. I don't want to I don't want to say any of my stuff is necessarily genius, because at the end of the day with like theories, it's all fair game. Most people have different ideas, and all of that could potentially be the answer. But beautiful is definitely something I'm going for. I would like my videos to at least be visually and what's the word? What's the visual equivalent for audio? Or like the word visually for like audio, auditorily? Is that the word?
I think
Yeah, I
it's
want it to be nice. I want it to sound good. Is the point. I want it to sound good.
When you were saying that, I was thinking orgasm, but that didn't sound appropriate.
I want my videos to be orgasmic. So, yeah, I appreciate that, man. I love your channel as well. I actually think our channels are kind of similar in a lot of ways, despite the visual presentation being different. I think our way of like making theories and using panels to tie everything together, and the general organization of our videos are pretty similar, and that's why I like your channel a lot, because I can kind of when I see your videos, I kind of get I don't want to say I get the wavelength that you're on, because with some of those theories I would never come up with that in 1,000 years, but I do want to say we're on a similar wavelength there. So yeah, man, if you guys want to check out my channel if you haven't already, basically the theme of the channel is like, it's themed around a bar on an island in the One Piece world, basically inspired by a real life jazz bar, the Blue Note, that's in New York City. And that bar has I have a lot of a personal attachment to that jazz bar, and I decided to make a channel themed around that aesthetic, and that's what I did. And I just talk about One Piece theories, and I analyze the story, and I do it with jazz music or jazz hip hop in the background. And if you like that sort of thing, if you like long form analysis, I would definitely check me out. So thank you, Par, for having me on, man. I'm very happy to be here.
It was a must.
I'm excited for what we're going to talk about today, dude, because we have you guys, I'm sure Par has mentioned it. I probably mentioned it before too on my streams, but me and ParVision talk a lot, like, off stream and off video and all that stuff. We talk. And prior to me putting out this mega theory, the last week we were basically just in each other's DMs like every day. I was just bouncing like panels back off of him and like, yo, what do you think of this? Hey man, do you see this connection? I'll send him like a wall of text of like 10 things. Like basically every section you guys saw in the video, ParVision has it in his DMs. Like, in the form of DMs, he has my entire video. It's so funny. And yeah, I mean, he was extremely helpful. There's a lot of realizations, like, for those of you who saw my video, part of the video is me theorizing that One Piece is the name of the ancient kingdom, that the name that Clover was about to say, the name of the ancient kingdom before he was shot, was One Piece, and that would reveal, it would be a whole domino effect of reveals in the One Piece world that would completely destroy the power balance and the world government's control. That whole idea spawned in a conversation between me and ParVision, where we were talking about that scene, and I was telling him originally the name I thought it was going to be was Marijoa. I thought the name of the ancient kingdom was Marijoa first. And then we were talking about it more and more, and then I had a light bulb go off in the middle of the conversation.
The amount of light bulbs.
The amount of light bulbs in those conversations were insane, but this one was what made the video happen. I'm pretty confident in like saying that this idea spawned the whole video. I was just like, wait, what if One Piece was the name of the kingdom? And I sent it to him, and I was like, in all caps, I was like, oh shit, oh man, like, yo, think about this, yo, the One Piece, it's the ancient kingdom that was the name all along, and all this stuff. And it was like, Par was there for it. I just want to put that out there, that if it weren't for him, the video that we saw today may not have happened, or at least not in the way that it did. So
you give me too much credit, but I just want to like that. I want to talk about our conversations. I think that's what will be like really good for the community and like our viewers to see like how we came up with this, because it was not just this, but we talked about our channels too. Like, do you remember what our first conversation was about when we first talked to each other? It was on Twitter.
First conversation, I feel like I do, but at the same time I'm trying to remember. Was it about like it had something to do with our videos, like the process behind our videos.
Yeah,
I do
yeah.
remember that. I don't remember what the exact conversation was. Remind me, remind me.
We ended up DMing each other, like literally around the same. I think you DM'd me first. I forget, but I was literally about to message you because I forgot what video came across. I think Larry brought it up. I went on the. You were on the podcast. I was on the podcast, and I was like maybe a little bit before then or around that time. And I was just like, bro, how do you do your videos? I love it. And then you responded with exactly the same thing, and it's just
Yes.
so funny because like. I'm not gonna tell them your secret sauce to making the videos because Larry was just like, yo, how does he do this? And I was like, I know how he does it. And when you told me, I was like, wow, that is so smart. I never would have thought about that. But I told you, remember, I made a 3D avatar of myself to like make something similar to yours, but I have it for a different reason, and you know that reason will come up later. But and I told you about that, and you're like, wait, this is how the videos work, and I'm just like, oh my god. Yeah. So you didn't make a 3D model of yourself, and then then you dropped the part where it's like it wasn't even you, and clearly we can tell that now. But
yeah, right.
And so now, like, it's funny because I don't know if everybody who watched his newest video, they peeped his new format. And it's kind of funny because I'm going towards your direction, you're going towards my direction where you went for the full screen thing.
Yeah.
And it's just funny how, all right, we got a super chat from that One Piece talk. Nothing but admiration for both of you, our Nakama. Yo, appreciate you. Appreciate Larry, appreciate you guys being here.
Yeah, thank you guys.
That's a good point. So in terms of the chat, I'm going to periodically we'll go through the chat as best as we can, and then if super chats, we're going to prioritize those and check those out every 30 minutes ish, that kind of thing. But we'll definitely be getting to them. Thank you guys for being here. I did not ping right now. I did not ping my Discord. If you could do that for me, homie Seal, I'd appreciate that. I got a little swamped a little bit before this, but so no worries.
Yeah, I wanted to play off of that. So like our formats are kind of switching up, right?
Yeah.
And so I want to explain that because I was worried that people would watch the video, and I started with the bar, and after, because I on my channel I've been doing more like face cam stuff, and then like I've been putting the stream highlights, and I've been putting like different content to like mix it up and bridge the gap between my bigger videos. Mm-hmm. And I was worried because people in my comments for the last 4 uploads were like, oh, Hidden, I hope you don't drop the bar. Like, don't drop the bar aesthetic. Like, that was like my favorite thing, dude.
Yeah.
And I was like, don't worry, it's not going anywhere. I'm going to bring it back. And I did it with this video, but then I zoom in from the bar into the window, and then you have the full screen. So I was worried that people were going to be like, oh, this doesn't count though, like, but the reason I want to do that, I think I'm going to be doing it from now on, is just because it's so painstaking to animate my avatar for every bit of dialogue in the video. And if I'm doing a 40-minute long video, that means my character has to cycle through like all his poses like 1,000 times or some crazy number, like hundreds of times. So it takes forever, a nightmare in editing. So we're doing this now.
I think the viewers can appreciate this beauty of a video that you put out. Like literally, like I was trying to do work while doing it because I already, you already said I already knew most of the video. So I was just like, how can I look away from this? This is incredible. But like, and it's funnier. I wrote it in the live too. I was just like, how do I know everything that's about to be said? But like, I'm still like getting goosebumps. I'm still like, riveted by what you're saying. And, and just going to the animations, it's funny because when we were talking about our newer formats, like you were saying, like the window thing, it's like getting a view into what you're talking about. And like ParVision, I was telling you that I'm gonna have my thing set up so like people put on the goggles. Yeah, so it's like it's incredible. Yo, Mosh, thanks for being here, bro.
Truly is the hidden vision, bro. It's like we I look through the window, you look through the goggles, and we both find some great truths about the One Piece story and some cool theories. And it's really, I love the aesthetic. I love how your aesthetic, like, matches with mine. It's I'm telling you, the hidden vision is a thing. It's definitely a thing.
And so it is 100%. And so before we I want to get into some of the video stuff, like some of those topics that you brought up.
Sure.
And so again, like if you guys are here and you haven't seen Hidden's video, I would definitely go watch it. You know, a lot of streamers would be like, don't leave the stream to go watch. No, like I would be fine with you guys leaving to go watch the video and coming back, because we'll be here, you know, for a while talking about this video.
Yeah.
And the other thing, oh, well, perfectly timed super chat during this thing. So glad I finally catch a stream after work. Zaza. Yo, thanks for coming through. It's gonna be a great one. So I just want to clarify too, like our stream that we were supposed to do together was supposed to be this week, and then the Revery thing came up, so then that's why we have the special episode for Voice of All Things on Thursday, today. And the other reason is, and so I kind of just want to throw this out at the beginning. You're going to be going to Japan, and yes. So do you want to just, like, you know, before we're going to get carried away with talking about stuff. So just let everyone know what you're doing in Japan.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. So I am going to Japan on a, I guess, you know, vacation sort of thing, starting on the 12th of this month. So on Tuesday, this upcoming Tuesday, pretty soon. And I'm going to be in Japan for 5 weeks with my wife. The reason we're going is to visit her family, but I decided to make it into something a little bit more interesting as well on top of that, which was we got tickets to Universal Studios Japan, and I don't know if you guys know this, but in USJ they have a One Piece section of the park dedicated to One Piece, because in Japan One Piece is pretty much like their Star Wars essentially. So, you know, stuff like One Piece, like themed stores and parks and stuff like that, a lot more commonplace in Japan. There's also like a One Piece store in the Tokyo Tower, or like a One Piece cafe. So my goal is going to be, while I'm in Japan, I'm going to do a bunch of vlog content, going to try out each of these like One Piece related things. So for Universal, to start with Universal, they have a One Piece section of the park with all the merch. They also have a live show. It's like a, I don't know if it's like a musical type performance. It's like a live performance where all the, you know, characters of One Piece are cosplayed by people, and they do a whole thing on stage. I'm going to be able to see that. I don't think I'm going to be able to record that, knowing how shows tend to work. But sense. I may be able to get pictures like here and there. And then they have a restaurant, which is like Sanji's restaurant. And they have someone that's playing Sanji go around the restaurant. He'll take your order. He'll serve you your food. And if you're a guy, he'll be mean to you. And if you're a girl, he'll flirt with you. Really funny stuff. I think Luffy comes around to your tables and asks you if you're going to finish your food so he can take it. A lot of fun stuff like that. So I want to get as much of that as I can on video. I'm going to be going to different parts of Japan, so hopefully I'll be able to get stuff from all around Japan. Maybe I'm going to talk to my wife's friends who also read One Piece, get some more Japanese perspective. So if you guys have any questions that you'd like to ask a Japanese One Piece reader, be sure to send them my way, because I will have access to people that may be able to answer that stuff for you. So I'll make sure to bring those questions up. And yeah, I'm going to be gone for 5 weeks. So, you know, I'm not going to be on the channel doing what I usually do. I'm not going to be doing my streams every week during that time. But instead, I will be putting up this cool look into One Piece in Japan that I don't see other YouTubers doing, because most people don't have access to that. And hopefully you guys will like it. It's going to be like a nice look into what it's like on the other side, you know, in the home of One Piece, you know, how One Piece is treated over there, and how people think of it. So
Jintone asks, where do we send the questions? Probably in the Discord. Do you have a channel set up?
Yeah. So I have a Discord. If you guys aren't in the Discord already, I'm not sure if there's a link in the description, but if you go on my channel, you'll be able to get a link to it from there, or any of my videos that's in the description. Join the Discord, and what you can do is you can go to the server or the stream stuff. There's a stream stuff channel, and I usually reserve that for people to send me theories for me to watch on my weekly streams. But since those aren't going to be happening, we'll use it for now as a place for you to post any of your questions that you'd want me to get answered. So once again, in my Discord, there's a channel called Stream Stuff. Go in there, post your questions in there. So,
and you know, I remember when you were like, you told me about this, and I was just like, waiting for you to announce it on your channel so I could just blast it out, because I'm 100% going to be glued to every time you post something about it. I'm gonna be peeping it, if not streaming it. Like it might be a regular thing on my stream to just be like, all right, what did Hidden post this week? And I like what's even crazier, right, is that everyone's just like, yo, Oda, after I post my theory videos, they're like, Oda's after you and you got to be careful, right? Meanwhile, Hidden here posts this video today saying he knows what the One Piece is, all this stuff, and then this, you know, like Bamf energy right here just is like, I'm going to Japan to the source. Come at me, bro. Like,
I'm going to Wano, baby.
He's not afraid, guys. You guys are all worried about my drunk birds hitting the window and Oda sending them. Nah. Hidden's going straight to the source.
Wait.
If anyone has a problem with it.
You have birds hitting your window? Is that what?
Oh yeah, that's a thing every stream. Maybe we'll get a cameo today. Every stream there's a bird that hits my window. And so
oh my God.
Yeah, and so I was telling the stream that like animals just have like a weird thing with me. They just come at me like that. But
damn, it's a news coup. It's trying to
yeah, and so I posted a picture of this bird, right? And I think it was Lazos. Lazos was just like, oh, I think it's an American robin. Well, he had a funny thing at the beginning. And then someone figured out that American robins apparently eat fermented berries and get intoxicated. And so these are literally drunk birds. Like, it's actually like... Wow. Biologically, really? Yeah, like they're known to just fall over while they walk, like a straight line. They can't even pass a sobriety test. Like... It's pretty
news.
funny.
That's news to me. I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday I had a gopher, there was some deers, fox, but the birds just slam into the windows every day. And so
that might be fuel for a really crazy Pell theory.
Yo, for sure. But yeah, with the Japan stuff, yeah, I'm really excited. I think when you do the interviews for the Eastern perspective of like One Piece, like honestly the primary perspective of One Piece, because like Oda writes the story for the Japanese demographic, that's the part where you know as much as we want to say we're connected with the story, we can't deny that there's a whole language barrier, there's a whole cultural barrier, there's a whole reception to a lot of the things, the bath scene, just a lot of different things. And you address this in your streams, which by the way, if you guys don't know, usually Hidden Island streams today, but he moved his stream to tomorrow. We moved mountains to make this happen because he's leaving next week, so we wanted to get this going before I'd have to wait 5 weeks, or we somehow stream while you're in Japan, and then we have like a 40-minute delay in ping. Like
yeah, if I may stream in Japan, but it's gonna have to be from like my iPhone, and I'm gonna it's not gonna be the typical stuff. There's no way we could do that. So definitely had to fit it into this week. Everything had to fit into this week.
So and that being said, now let's walk it back to how the conversation started, because I think you posted Rome Piece. I had no you gave me a little I helped with a little bit with like some like YouTube stuff, not the theory stuff. Yeah. And so then when you brought it up to me, I was just like, ooh, I can't wait for the video, right? The video dropped, and then I'm pretty sure I like basically like 4 a.m. midnight DM'd you. I'm like, yo, bro, you gotta like, we need to talk right now. And like, obviously it was like 4 a.m. right? And so by the way, if you guys haven't seen Rome Piece, I would go as far to say is Rome Piece is like the start of this like series, that series of events that got us to, it's not even over, like it's gonna continue. So that like both Hidden and I both have said this. He has Rome Piece on his channel. We're gonna do a Rome Piece 2 on my channel, because there's so many things in the video that Hidden posted today that he kind of left out that I'm not afraid to put in, and and there's it's just like, bro, like it's incredible. But so this one I think I can say, and it's not really a tease, but like he put out this video called Rome Piece, right? And he talks about it, and do you want to give everyone like a like 2-3 lines about it?
Yeah. Yeah, basically the video is just theorizing what Laugh-Tale and like what the ancient kingdom looked like, because we don't know what it looked like at all. We don't know anything about it. So I wanted to like find what it may have been influenced by, and the theory is just suggesting that it's influenced by the Roman Empire, which was just like the ancient kingdom, a really, really massive and successful empire that was invaded and destroyed and withered away over time. And now all we have is a dead language, Latin. We have, you know, only ruins of the civilization left, and only its influences remain in the world. But Rome doesn't exist anymore. Not that in the sense that the empire existed. So that's pretty much the connection I was making, and it's a whole video just listing out all the connections between the ancient kingdom and the Void Century and Roman culture, Latin and Greek culture. So
that's... and it was like, was surprising, right? Was that a lot of people were, not a lot of people, I say a lot of people, but like I saw some of the comments. I was the first commenter, and I'm pretty sure I was commenting throughout it because we were just going nuts in the thing, and then we were reading the comments. But I saw a few people like turned off by the idea, just from the idea of it. Not that, you know, I don't think they even gave you a chance to fully bring out your points. And so I want to put a poll. You guys know I love poll. I gotta stop saying these things, like I love polls. But do you guys think that One Piece has heavy Roman ties to the backstory? I want to ask you guys that just to get a gist of, you know, what you guys think. And then I'm going to tell you guys a premise for part 2. Let's see. And I won't let you guys rig this on Twitch.
And while you guys vote on that, I guess maybe it'll help to clarify an answer to one of the most common objections I saw on the video, which was a lot of people were saying, oh, well, we already have Rome in One Piece because Dressrosa had Roman influences there. So this is the thing. Dressrosa had Spanish influences, mostly Spanish. The thing is with Spain was a part of the Roman Empire, and then a lot of the stuff from the Roman Empire, you know, culturally remained in Spain after the empire was gone. So stuff like Colosseums and things like that are in Spain, and they're leftovers from the Roman Empire. That's pretty much why there's a Roman connection there. And that being said, Dressrosa is a very, very clear microcosm of the One Piece world. So if you're going to make an arc that is representing what happened in the Void Century to some degree, having heavy Roman influences there would actually help the argument rather than hurt it. So I just want to put that out there.
Yeah, that was actually this. I think that was the second thing we brought up in that conversation, where I was just like, wait, if we're talking about Rome, then we're talking about like Dressrosa, and if we're talking about Dressrosa, this fits beautifully. And I think that's where part 2, you know, was started out, and then we went wild after that. We were like, holy shit. I think like every other word was holy shit. But like, okay, so the other part of it, this was like the whoa, like I watched this video and I booty called Hidden basically. And so I was just like, yo, I'm pretty sure you're right. And like, you know, my concept with One Piece is that, and I'm going to be talking about this in my next video, is that the One Piece story is almost like every arc is a microcosm of something that I believe probably happened in the Void Century. And what's left of the Void Century to decipher is what's left in the future of One Piece, which is a premise of the video that I was supposed to drop today, but it's going to be premiering tomorrow, hopefully, all things considered. But and we're going to talk about how it connects to your video too. But what I laughed at was, do you guys remember? Okay, let's see. Heavy Roman ties, 68%. So if you guys are on the side that it's, you know, on the no side, that's fine. But let me just hit you with this wordplay that hit me in the middle of the night. It was that the first arc of One Piece is Romance Dawn. Let's just think about Romance Dawn real quick. Is it not Roman right in the name? And then isn't it Romans Dawn? Isn't this the same wordplay I also had with like Void Century? Like, it's incredible because this is the arc that started the story. And if, like Hidden's point about the Roman Empire, and truthfully, I was going back and forth between Greek and Rome, but Rome made so much more sense, and it kept making more sense, and it makes even more sense when you look at the first arc of One Piece, Romance Dawn.
Romance Dawn, baby.
Yeah, and then
Yep.
you looked up the etymology for romance, right?
Romance, yep. And it comes from romance comes from Roman. The word romance was used to compare things to the Romans. It's like to say something is romantic means it's like the Romans. It's like the Roman Empire, a romantic, magnificent idea. That's where the word romance comes from. It does come from the Romans. So there is a direct connection in the word romance to the Roman Empire, and it's in the very first name of the very first arc of the story. The prototype of One Piece was not One Piece, it was Romance Dawn. The original title was Romance Dawn. It all ties back. I'm telling you guys.
And so we're gonna, and the other thing, I think we talked about this in our video or not in the video, in our call, was like, there's a lot of ways Oda can flip it, because we were going with, like, it seemed like he was meshing Rome with a few other cultures, a different thing, but like there was like a foundation with a Roman story. We obviously a lot of the folklore is Japanese, and then it ties to the Rome stuff, and in general Rome in Greek mythology and history is like an international, everyone kind of has one way or the other stories leaked in, and I think you talked about it earlier, how like Rome isn't here today in the same way that it was back then, but a lot of our world was influenced by the Roman Empire, the Greek, all of that stuff. So it wouldn't be surprising if One Piece's story, right, the story of like such a grand story that mirrors our world in so many, like Skypiea and Fishman Island and Wano, in so many places. Like we talked about how like the Yonko represent different world powers in our world, and it would make so much sense if that also carried over to the origin of the story that we're looking at, right? Like, and I think about it, like right now I'm just thinking about it. Imagine if we grew up not knowing about the Roman Empire. How would we operate? Right. Everyone would be so confused. Like if we had all the stuff that the Greek Roman Empire gave us, what kind of world would we be living in, right? The philosophers, the mathematicians, the astronomers, all of those things. We would have their results, but not know who to give it to, right? Like who taught us these things. And in a lot of ways, maybe their teachings would be, smothered out too. Like imagine like Socrates and like all of the philosophers, their poneglyphs were wiped out. We'd be like, what is emotions? What is math? What is the Pythagorean theorem, right? Like we wouldn't know anything.
It's even, I mean, even in the Roman Empire, they had the great library of Alexandria, and that was part of the Greeks, and that was burned down, I believe, as a result of Julius Caesar and the Roman conquest. Like a whole library with all of thousands and thousands of books was burned down. A very clear parallel to O'Hara. I mean, like there's so many things like that you can find in the story, and if the real world Rome links to all these like different countries and cultures, it really brings into question that where a lot of the stuff in the One Piece world all links back to. Because I feel like the Void Century has to have been a less, maybe like a less complicated world. There must have been a little bit more of a sense of unity in the cultures and places in the world, and everything's been isolated now because of what's happened over all the ages in the Void Century. There's a lot of countries that isolated because of the Void Century, but nothing else. Like if it weren't for that, the world would probably be a lot more of an open place. Things like the All Blue might be a lot closer to reality 800 years ago than they are now. So the Rome and the fall of Rome definitely connects to the way things have been laid out.
So and I also want to clarify when I was saying, how much of the knowledge would we not have without the Roman Empire. I want to put an asterisk there because that's not, the full story. A lot of other cultures also contributed to that stuff. And then, through the years of mismanaging history, burning things down, we lose a lot of, where things come from, like the Pythagorean theorem, and a lot of things, you know, had Arabic ties, Egyptian ties, you know, there was a lot of things. And actually, this is one of my favorite facts of all time. Oxford University. How old is Oxford University?
No idea.
Would it blow your mind to know that Oxford University was a contemporary with the Mayan civilization?
No way.
The Oxford University predates the when the Mayans were taken down. 900 years.
What?
Yeah,
Really?
and the Europeans were, you know, I mean, I have to brush up on this, but the Europeans were at fault for a lot of world smothering, I guess, buster calls, if you would. But like the Mayans, I always talk about this with the Mayans, bro. They have this temple, right, where you stand in front of it, like it's like a pyramid, and at the top there's like this housing, I guess, like it's open on 4 sides, and if you stand a certain way, they have it measured out, and you clap like that just further away, the acoustics reach the top and it makes a bird call.
Really?
And I'm just like, we don't know how to do this shit now. I'm trying to get that made here. And I'm just like, and that's just like, you know, like in general, that's just like a funny thing. But there were so many, they had like hydroponics, they had so much stuff and things that were lost. And then we look at Oxford. I'm not saying Oxford isn't great, but I'm just saying, like, man, imagine we had all of the institutions maintained for the last 1,000 years like Oxford got, right? Like, imagine, like, Oxford has this name. Imagine going to, like, Mayan University. That would be crazy. I would go there 100%.
I mean, we really don't have, like, we don't have a lot on stuff like the Mayans anymore. Like, there's a lot of stuff that's still a mystery to us about how they lived and like went about daily life, and like, you know, there's a lot of mysteries. So if you imagine that with the Roman Empire too, like let's say we somehow lost all our knowledge on the Roman Empire and you came across, you know, a big stone with Latin written on it, or like some ruins, you know, it would kind of feel a lot like what's going on in One Piece right now. I definitely think so. And here's something else worth considering. It kind of just popped into my head while we've been talking about this, but you know, what was I'm pretty sure what was one of the biggest empires after the Roman Empire was the French Empire with Napoleon. And if we know that the world government is on top of the Red Line, and what's the name of their kingdom? Marijoa. It's a French name. It's a French name for their kingdom. So the idea that like the Romans were taken down, and then all these years later, an empire just as big in the form of like the French Empire and Napoleon and all that stuff, that might be getting paralleled here in One Piece with the world government, because that's pretty much what Napoleon wanted to do. He wanted to take over the world, essentially. He wanted to unify everyone in the world under one government, under France. That was his plan.
The short king himself.
Yeah, the short king, and you know, if we look at Marijoa, what's it visually inspired by? I'm pretty sure it's inspired by Versailles, isn't it?
I'm pretty sure.
So,
yeah,
gives you things to think about, you know.
So here, Zagrash, he was one of the contributors, or you know, you shot him out in the video.
Yes.
Super chat. Thank you for the super chat. He says Roman history directly ties to the history of seafarers and sea training. I'm assuming that's like sea, you know, adventuring on the seas. Also has cross connections to Vikings. Roma means backwards is amor, love, romance. It's etymologically connected. I'm not great with that pronunciation, but 100%. And Hidden just talked about the other direction. You talked about the Norse connection, right? Vikings and stuff, and you know, Shanks, Elbaf. There's another direction that we're going at, right? But here's the opposite direction with the France stuff. And I you know, forgive me for, you know, not being able to download the entire 45 minutes as best as I could. I know most of it, but I also have access to more than what was put in the video, so I don't want to leak out things that weren't in it. But in the video, you mentioned the privateering stuff, right?
I mentioned Morganeers.
But you didn't.
I did not mention the stuff with the privateers.
Okay.
Because So
And
the only reason is because I feel like privateers were primarily associated with England more so than France. Even though I think the French and the Spanish had a part in it, it was mostly the English. They were the ones that were
yeah,
that
yeah,
that's why people like Blackbeard who came from England, that's why he started out as a privateer before he became a
right.
pirate.
So
So,
and to that point, I think I think Oda, right, in a lot of ways, wouldn't be crafting the story as restricted as our world history, even though our world history is way more complicated and way more complex than just, this empire took over, that empire took over, right? So in a lot of ways, he'd probably mix a lot of, different elements of a similar
yeah.
regime into one play. And so you mentioned how, Marijois resembles like French, as France, ties. And if we're saying, in the ancient times, there was a Roman theme going on, and then the French took over. It's pretty crazy because the warlords are sanctioned pirates, and it's really funny because they're so against pirating, but they have pirates under their beck and call. They call them and then they bring them over. They're
Yep.
sanctioned by the government. That's the whole thing that was being abolished. And the main thing being is that not you mentioned UK, France, and Spain. There was a lot of pirating going on, and so to combat that, they would hire pirates to combat that, and it would
Yes.
be government sanctioned, not too different than the warlord system. And lo and behold, who is the one that introduces that? It's the the world government in our world. And if they're supposed to represent what comes after the Roman Empire, then it fits so many more ways than one.
Yes. Yes. It
um
all definitely connects. Whether or not Oda is mixing influences, or maybe he's taking from something else that occurred in a similar way. I see a lot of people mention like, oh, the Romans weren't just the only big empire in history, or there were other big empires out there and all this stuff. That I understand. I'm just saying that in terms of cultural significance and how much it has influenced like a lot of storytelling and history in the Western world and the Eastern world, I'd say the Romans are definitely among the most popular. And I don't think Oda is going for like the really niche or like the lesser known histories if he's
I
pulling
agree.
from references. I feel like he's gonna go to like the ones that everyone knows, the stuff that you could imagine the average person has heard about. Because Oda is not like, he's not a historian. He doesn't know every little bit of history ever. Oda is not like he's not God. He doesn't know every little bit of human history that's ever happened. I'm sure a lot of these sources he may never even have heard of. Maybe the stuff we're talking about today he may not have heard of. So I feel like it's just safer to go with the bigger, more popular answers when it comes to influences.
Yeah.
And Rome definitely fits the bill there. Rome 100% does.
And we talked about this too, where the well, okay, for one, the point about Oda's references, right? A lot of people say that I use references that he probably wouldn't use, but if my favorite example is in the Sanji video. I have a few examples, and the thing is, the reason why I think he would use those examples, so one of them is Passions of the Soul. The reason why I think that one would be something he'd use is because that's literally like the basis of like French philosophy. Like Rene Descartes is such a prolific philosopher that if you're looking at anything related to emotions or passions or anything like that, you're gonna find that book. It's literally gonna be the top of the bookshelf, like
Yeah.
when you're looking at resources like that. And then the same nature, if he's trying, and the other book I reference is like a gastronomy book, and he's wrote a character, Sanji, probably the most in-depth character that he's in the entire story, right? He's a chef. It would blow my mind if he didn't incorporate actual like
Like anatomy into
yeah, historical relevance, right? And that book that I reference is literally the first book about being a chef, about cooking, about anything related. It's like the first world-renowned book regarding that. So that and we gotta also remember when Oda. And so I always bring people back to. I've been waiting to make this video, but chapter 1, the first thing before the story even starts, Oda has a note to every chapter, and in this one he said, I finally collected all the material I need to make this story about pirates. And he said that like I think in that same thing he said like pirates don't usually leave their stories behind. They're not great at leaving history, so let's enjoy this like pirating story, right, from whatever his perspective. And I want to point out that like all of these things that we're finding, all these connections, we have by the grace of the internet, right? But when Oda was making this story, the internet wasn't a thing. The internet was the equivalent of crypto. Now you have people like saying crypto is fake, all this stuff. That was at the time when he was probably making the story. Internet was probably worse than Bitcoin in regards. Absolutely. Yeah, and so he like. I can't imagine how many libraries he went to, but I imagine he was just at a library. He pulled out all the books. The librarian, he was probably stealing them from the librarians. Who knows? But like, and that's why we, you know, are able to find these connections, because they're probably the most prominent sources of information. And what's important about that, I think, is like, when we're looking at the more niche, like the smaller cultures around the world, it's an important thing to like recognize that, like, you know, it's not weird that like almost nearly every culture, every religion has a sun god, right? Because if you were back in the day, you know, I would revere the sun. Yeah, I would revere the sun too, 100%, right? Exactly. And it, you know, so it like, and when we start breaking down and going to other parts of the lore and religions, it's not surprising that, you know, a different interpretation is more accurate to like modern day versus like some of, like, maybe the Greeks didn't have everything right and maybe this other culture did, and it applies better to the story. But that doesn't necessarily mean that Oda used that as a reference. It could just be, you know, his spin off on this, you know, core source that ends up, you know, imitating something similar. But that's not to say that, you know, that other, like, these other religions aren't important to look at, because that also might help us figure out possible ways Oda synthesized the information he had, the stack of books. Absolutely. That he had. And have you seen Oda's studio? Maybe you showed me his studio. I forget. Someone on stream showed me his studio.
I haven't seen his. I think I've seen his studio, but I may be misremembering. I'm definitely not the one that sent it to you though.
Yeah. Let me see if I could pull it up real quick. Just an image on stream. So this is what his studio looks like, and it'll probably come up on stream for you in just a little bit. I just want to point out that is worse than my desk. That is worse than any state my room has ever been in, and I am so happy that a role model of mine can be so successful and have a place that looks like that. Because if my wife ever gives me shit, I'll be like, yo, the goat looks like that. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So don't let me turn my camera around, because behind me the room's clean. Behind the cam the room is
yeah, 100%. There's no chance in the world I'm showing my desk right now. It's an abomination. But you know, that being said, I think with your video you really hit the nail on the head with like a lot of the connections. It felt like the connections you were making were immaculate for sure. And there wasn't, the thing is, like, you know, prior to the video, you guys may not know this, but Hidden was getting cold feet a little bit. He was like, my theory, is it good? Like, I don't know, blah blah. And I'm just like, I don't even need to see the video, bro. Like, it's fine, it's great, it's beautiful. And it ended up delivering on that 100%.
I'm glad. I really was worried, guys. I really was, because when you work on a long theory that's like 40 something minutes long and you have to do like hours and hours and hours of editing, at some point in that process you start to like think back on what you're making and you're like questioning it. You're like, are people gonna like this? I just put 50 hours into this and I'm starting to see flaws, and then you worry and you get into your own head. So it's like nice that when I put it out, everyone was like so, you know, in love with it. I really am happy about that, because that would mean it was time well spent. You know?
Yeah, 100%. 100. And it's funnier because we'll talk about the last part of our phone call in a second. I'm gonna get to the super chats and bits real quick, but sure. But it is just a funny guy. It was just so funny, because before we got on the thing, he's like, yo, the video's doing great, and I was like, I mean, who, you didn't need the analytics to tell you that, bro. Like, 100%. This is a gold mine. Quality is gonna be rewarded, 100%. So awesome. Let me get to the super chats real quick.
Yes. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, and if you see a chat in between that like piques your interest, just let me know or just read it out. Okay, so we got Zagrash, Time Lord. Thank you for the bits. The second verse of We Are is Poketo no Coin. Sorry for my pronunciation and lack of musical prowess, but is Poketo ni Roman? Huh. I gotta check that out. I gotta look through the songs because I think actually your channel might be better for this, but like analyzing all the songs would be crazy.
Wait, so what? I'm sorry, I don't understand. Are you asking if the word pocket in? Because what they're saying is a coin in the pocket. That's what the line means. Right. A coin in the pocket. So which part of that are you asking is Roman? Because I'd be curious about that. I'm just trying to figure out which part I'd actually have to look into.
Yeah, we'll see if Time Lord responds. Yeah, that was his thing. So, Blue Cheetah, stand up and do the gritty right now. Thank you for the super chat. I will not be doing that.
If I knew what it was, I would do it. I would do it if I knew.
People say I'm gifted at dancing, but I don't believe it. But that being said, I'm not going to be baited into a Morge Bollywood dance stream at the moment. Yeah. but that's actually a great segue because he'll bait you and he'll do the dance if you guys get the likes to 1,000 likes. So if you guys get the likes to 1,000 likes, I'll attempt the gritty 100%. So if you guys are enjoying the stream so far, please like the video. Yes. And if you aren't already subscribed to Hidden, go stop on his channel real quick, drop a subscription, and then come back here. Time Lord said, I meant the first verse is. Hold on, let me pull up the verse to the thing. We Are lyrics One Piece. Let me do that real quick just to give. Oh, it's in Japanese. That's great. Okay, let's translate it. Go gather all your dreams and go looking for something to look for. One Piece, the compass under. You know what? I was joking a little bit, but I'm 100% going to. We need to. This may be another Hidden Vision playthrough, like going through the music.
Yeah, no, that's possible. Definitely. Yeah.
Wait, on this other line, you just have to think about someone's biorhythm. Is this actually said in Japanese? What the hell? That's so dope. Okay, there is no Kiyomi, but romance in the pocket. You want to be my friend, we are on the cruise. Romance in the pocket. I think that's what he was saying.
Okay, I see. So the English lyrics say romance in the pocket. So the only thing I will say to that is I would take it with an extremely small grain of salt, and the only reason is because the English lyrics were changed, I'm assuming, to make them rhyme, but the original lyrics don't say that unless I took the
Japanese and translated it on Google though. So that was the Japanese lyrics, and then I translated.
Oh, really?
It. Yeah.
Okay, because I know that the English version of We Are, there is a version with different lyrics that is not accurate to the original lyrics. It's just made so that it can rhyme in English. Okay. I'm not sure. Okay, so that helps then. Now there's something. Now we have something.
We're gonna be romance part 2. I don't know if we're gonna get to all the songs by then, but like maybe we could, because we'll have a 5-week break to revive Rome Piece 2.
Well, look, man, we're not gonna be getting the last part. We're in the last saga, but we're not going to be getting all the Roman stuff anytime soon. So we have time.
That's true. We do have time.
We got to get the ammo, got to build the ammunition, and then once we have a nice little mountain of evidence, we just, boom, put the video out there, and then that'll be Rome Piece Part 2. That'll do well, I think. I think people are going to enjoy that.
All right, so then we have super chat from Chad Guy 1776. Can you rank the top power systems in One Piece? Tech, Hockey, Devil Fruits. Can superior tech match advanced Hockey and Devil Fruit powers? So we won't talk about this fully right now, but if you remind me later on, we'll get to it. But I think we could probably quickly address this part. Do you think superior tech is going to ever match Hockey?
No.
Absolutely.
I think Oda told us already which one wins, and I'm pretty sure it's Hockey. He gave it to us in the fight with Kaido. Kaido was like, you know, you have your devil fruit, but even with the best devil fruit powers, if you don't have good hockey, you lose. So,
I think everything in One Piece is second, if not third, if not fourth to hockey. Like, I don't know which order it would play in, but, you know, considering tech doesn't take away your ability to swim, maybe tech's better than devil fruits in some regards. If you were to go like Judge, Vegapunk, Caesar, Queen, if you combined all of their stuff, you'd probably be able to combat a devil fruit user, I would imagine, right? So in that regard, but then at the end of the day, like, the story is hockey wins, hockey is supreme, hockey transcends all.
And in all fiction, I'm usually the type of person to say that magic beats tech almost every time. Like, and in this case, hockey and devil fruits fall into the magic category, while tech falls into the tech category. Like, you know, no matter how good of a scientist you are, at the end of the day, if you have a power that breaks the rules of the world that we know it as we know it, then there's no amount of tech that's going to beat a literal rule breaking ability. So you know,
I do like the stories where they connect science and magic, though. Like, you know, magic is like hacks for science, and then we just don't understand the science yet until we do, and then we're good, you know.
Magitech. Like Magitech
stuff. Or just like other dimensional stuff, like when they learn about like a fourth dimension, or they learn about that, then they're like, oh shit, so this isn't magic, this is like science, this is physics. It's like science, you can do this, right? Time Lord with the bits. Another theory surrounding your video. What if Emu? Oh, okay, yeah. So I said we're gonna get to this later, but I think you did bring up the water law thing. We're gonna talk about that in a little bit. So the full question I'll just read out now, and so that I remember when we come back to it. What if Emu is an ancient monkey family member? If this is true, it could show pirates as being the world governed by mirroring Luffy to Emu, as Emu equals I'm you. I like the funny part at the end. I don't know if that would apply, because in Japanese, I don't think that the wordings would make sense. But the other part of it, I've always had this question, right? Like, how is GARP still in the Marines? Like, it's just kind of like, they know he's a D-Clan member, and then on top of that, he's not the best Marine in the grand scheme of things. Like, he's not, like, how many times has he, like, literally counteracted the world government, right? Like with Ace, that was completely against what they wanted. Like with like he was about to run up on a Kainu. Like, there's probably more times than not that he probably just, you know, acted him back. On Water 7 was supposed to be him capturing Luffy, and he's just like, nah, I'm just gonna tell him about his dad and then peace out.
So I do think I know why GARP is not dead already, and it's because whatever happened on God Valley revealed the same truth that I talked about in my video. So he is privy to the knowledge the world government doesn't want people to know. He's also incredibly
Do you
strong.
think that? You think that he...
I think so, yeah. I think that's part of the reason he won't answer to the Celestial Dragons.
Okay.
He notice how all the the 2 Ds that were in the Marines, they capped out at Vice Admiral. They never went. They got to the highest position they possibly could without having to answer directly to the world nobles.
Well, apparently they wanted him to be an admiral, though. He refused.
He turned it down, yeah. And this is where the second part of this comes in. Where because he turned it down, it's because he's the one that said no, which also hints me into maybe he knows something that would incline him to say no, because he seems to have a lot of pride in the Marines specifically.
Right.
It's not like he has a gripe with the world government. He is serving them. But he isn't serving the Celestial Dragons, which maybe means he either just disagrees with them heavily, or maybe he knows something. He was on God Valley. We talked about in the video I made how rocks may be connected to what happened in the Void Century as well, because he was repeating history there. So he maybe knows something they don't want the world to know. And also, he is the hero of the Marines. They needed GARP to cover up Roger's actions at God Valley. They needed to make GARP as, like, they framed him as the hero who took down rocks. It wasn't GARP and Roger, it was GARP. So GARP got all the credit. He is the hero of the Marines. They put him on a pedestal. How bad would it look if they tried to get rid of him, or if they got rid of him somehow? And if they did, he's a strong guy. He's not gonna go. He's not gonna get assassinated. He's not gonna go down in one hit.
Could you imagine trying? Imagine getting the order, being the CP0 guy. Hey, we have to take out GARP, and then I would resign. I would just leave.
It's like Dripper Scarfino with the hat, like tipping his hat after getting one-shotted by Kaido, like before. It's like the same thing. It's like
no, but
your fate,
the order,
like, you're just gonna die. Like
the order is even different because they didn't even tell him to like kill anybody. He just said like, you know, try to make it so that Luffy died. Like maybe they didn't like, but then imagine they said kill Kaido. Do you think he would attempt? He would probably be like, all right, you got y'all, you're crazy. We're not trying this. Like, and
that's what I'm saying. Like, even if they did try, like if they somehow got the balls to try, there's no way he goes down immediately. Garp can, at any point in that, can reveal what he knows and then give the world government a big problem. So, in my opinion, their philosophy is keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer. They have Garp right where they want him. They're able to keep a close watch on him to make sure he doesn't do anything that puts them at risk. And the exchange is that he gets to be their hero. He gets to have a very lax career, and they get to keep him under wraps and make sure he doesn't do anything stupid. That's the only reason I think he's still alive. If it weren't for God Valley, I'm pretty sure everything that he did in this story would have gotten him axed almost immediately. So you know, they're in a very precarious situation with Garp. You know, they didn't have any issue killing Saul. They had no issue killing Saul. You know, and he was a D too.
And so he was Aokiji's friend. He was Aokiji's friend.
Yeah.
And Aokiji said like, "Hey, yo, bro, sorry, but it's gotta happen, homie." Like, you know, and that's crazy to me. I'm gonna be doing like a more deep dive on that situation, but I think I agree with you on the GARP stuff for the most part. It's just interesting because it almost like my perspective of GARP is that, you know, he supports the system knowing that it's not perfect, but if you are correct, right, that he knows some part of the Void Century, right, the true history, that implicates things because that would he's a D clan, so the history that he would learn about would be about himself. So that would mean that he's actively rejecting his own history to further maintain a history where his clan was smothered out, right?
Not necessarily. Necessarily.
Okay.
Because if you think about it, if you know that the world government used to be pirates, then you also know that pirates are very dangerous. And the one force that's fighting those pirates are the Marines. So it would make sense for him, knowing how dangerous the world government has become and what happened, wanting to prevent someone like Rox from doing it again, like preventing the cycle from continuing. It's like it's if you've ever seen the movie The Departed, or like, you know, like where there's like an undercover agent on each side. It's a similar concept where, you know, they have Garp's balls in a vice grip and Garp has their balls in a vice grip. Like they can't move. They're locked, you know? So like he is trying to prevent things from getting worse, and he sees how dangerous pirates are, and he's trying to stop history from repeating itself. They don't want him to be a threat, so they keep him alive, and it's kind of like a mutual win-win situation, I think. And the only reason he hasn't gone further up the chain is because he doesn't want to answer to these people. He's kind of like playing both sides in a way, you know?
Yeah,
that's how I see it.
So then my question, right? If the world government had a chance to kill him, would they do it?
Yeah.
Okay, now follow up. Does Garp die at the end of the series?
I think he dies fighting.
Okay.
If he does...
I agree. I think he's going to die too, unfortunately. Sorry for all the people that are Garp. I'm a Garp fan. I want Garp to live. I think we're going to get his flashback and he's going to die. So I just been seeing so many... Ever since I started my, you know, channel on TikTok, one of my first videos was that I think Garp is going to die. And it's like... Honestly, that pained me to make that video because, you know, when you start out making videos, you kind of make videos that you like. And I was just like, oh, God, I'm putting out a video where I'm saying Garp is dying. And Garp's one of my favorite characters. So... It's pretty stop spoiling One Piece, man. Sorry, Aton, sorry. So let me just clear up these. There's a few super chats. Let me clear them up and then we'll get back to the video stuff. So let's see. I think there was one right here. Yep, Mr. Bushido. Could Usopp and mods, if I miss one that you kept track of, let me know. Just put in the thing. I'll keep track of it. I might not get to it immediately. I'll get to it later. So could Usopp be a blood relative of Joy Boy? Mr. Bashir, you're always out of pocket for these things because like that I'm collecting panels for that discussion, right? Because we don't think that and if you watched Hidden's video, Hidden has a very clear-cut understanding of where Luffy comes from. But Nika was essentially the person in the fruit, right? Not Luffy himself. Luffy, you're not saying Luffy and Nika are blood. Actually, no, you are.
I'm saying they're blood related. I'm saying that they're such distant relatives that there's no trace. There's like very little trace of Nika, but the traces that do remain in the D clan are the ones like laughing in the face of death, so on and so forth. And I didn't really like highlight it or make a point about it in the video, but I did show that those two panels where NL says to Luffy, fear, like humans, fear is like the god of humans. Fear is the thing that
fear is Kami.
Yeah, fear is Kami, and all humans fear death. But then there's the panel of Smoker talking about how Luffy laughed on the execution stand, and he said he laughed. He knew he was about to die, and he laughed. Is he human? And that's the thing. So like, there's this implication that humans fear death, but the clan of D have one edge over humans that most humans don't possess, which is they do not fear death. They always smile in the face of death, which, in my opinion, would be a hereditary characteristic from all the way down the line. You have this person, Nika, who is like Joy Boy, literally smiling all the time, laughing uncontrollably. We see that remain in the D clan in their final moments. That comes back up in their final moments. Right. And connects to how Luffy, when he almost died against Kaido, he became Joy Boy right after that. So it's like this thing with death and laughter and smiling in the face of death, connecting to not being human. There's definitely something there. And there was another really crazy point that I also didn't get to go into.
There's a lot of them.
There's a panel I brought up also in the Skypiea arc where Mont Blanc Cricket is talking about Noland, and he's telling you the story about Noland and what happened, with the City of Gold. And it's very clear that Noland and Mont Blanc, or Noland and Cricket, the Mont Blanc family, is a parallel to the D family. Noland found Chandora, Roger found One Piece. They were both executed, and then their ancestors and all that, pay the price for it in a way.
And if you haven't seen my Nolan video on that, you should go check it out also. If you're new viewer.
100%. Like huge parallel. Definitely check out that video because it talks about a lot of what I couldn't talk about. But there was one line from Cricket where he says, "Oh, he's my great whatever. There's only an ounce of blood. There's only a drop of blood in me from him at this point. It doesn't matter." Right. But it did matter because he was still spending every day searching for that treasure. He was still doing exactly what Nolan did and carrying his will forward. So he says that his that drop of blood from Nolan in him didn't matter, but he still got the chestnut on his head. He's still searching for the gold. He's still carrying on Nolan's will. So in that same way, Nika, maybe there's only a drop of blood in every D from Nika. Maybe there's only a little bit left from that original parent,
but it's enough.
But it's enough, and that's the point.
And that's why I was upset you didn't bring up Chimney. Yeah. So if you guys were in the premiere and you saw me like, bro, you didn't put in Chimney, it was because Chimney is like, and I laughed about this on Randy Choi's stream because I said both of our theories, we include Chimney as a constructive part of the thing. Because Oda included Chimney for a reason, right? Like a lot of these things, it's to flesh out some clues. And the main thing about Chimney is that I forgot what her mom or grandma's name was. Is it Kokoro? Kokoro, right?
Yeah, Kokoro. Yep. So
she is a mermaid. She is a mermaid. But after a certain age, correct me if I'm wrong, you can be on land fins without. Yeah.
Or you lose your fins, you get your legs or whatever.
Yeah, unless you're in water. If you're in water, then you get your fishtail again. And so that being said, Kokoro is the grandmother of Chimney. So beneath Kokoro, there's a human and her son who would be a fishman, and they had a hybrid, which would be Chimney. So Chimney is a hybrid. We don't even know if she would be fishman or merman, or merwoman, whichever one applies the correct wording here. But and what's interesting about her is that when she goes in water, she doesn't get the fishtail, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. This is a long time ago.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. But what she does say, and this is fishermen are their signature thing is being able to swim really, really well, super, super fast, the fastest swimmers in the verse, right? And Chimney is just like, I don't know, I'm just really great at swimming. And that is another one of those things where, she has no manifestations of being a fisherman or merman or anything, but she retains that core ability of being able to swim better than most people in the verse. And by the same logic, that would apply to what you're saying. By the drop of blood, it does matter. And it's interesting how it would play into the anti-discrimination that One Piece is trying to bring in, because on one side it's like with the minks, they're like, we're minks and you're lesser. We're all the same things, whereas the humans see it as a different kind of thing. So this like drop of blood context mattering kind of lays itself that it does matter at the end of the day, but you wouldn't discriminate necessarily, right?
Hidden vision moment right here. Now that you're talking about this, when do we see blood and the mixing of races be relevant in the story? At the end of Fishman Island, where the mixing of blood between Jinbei and Luffy is called the Path to the Sun. Now, if what I'm saying is true and the D are half Lunarian, half human, maybe the mixing of blood, the mixing of cultures there is also a path to the sun, a path to the sun god Nika. Maybe that's what Oda's telling us. And then if we think about it, right? If he was with a human woman, and in the video I suggested that she was maybe like one of the earliest Kozuki, and she was known as the Moon Princess, the person who that song was written about. What do we know about a lot of the Kozuki clan, or at least the males in the Kozuki clan? A lot of them tend to have dark hair or black hair. Odin had black hair. Momo has black hair. What do we see with a lot of the Ds? A lot of the D clan also have black hair. That's like a common trait with a lot of the D members. Law, Blackbeard, Luffy, Roger, Zebek, where we haven't seen what his hair looks like, but it looks black from the silhouette. Maybe it's not. But an Ace too. Like there's a lot of that. So maybe the genetics are also being are coming into play there. Maybe the Path to the Sun stuff is coming. Now that I'm thinking about the Path to the Sun thing, I'm actually so upset that wasn't in the video, because that is such a perfect tie-in for a logic as to why a half mixing Lunarian with something else would be tied into Nika. But
100%.
Maybe that's what the follow-up's gonna have to talk about.
There was a point in my Discord where I think maybe some people, this is a long time ago, maybe February, January, around then, where I was just like, I think I was on this line of thinking that Luffy was going to be multiple races, and not that that's out of the picture yet, but I agree with you with the whole the mixing of races possibly being a very key point by the end of the story. And it's going to be interesting, because I think the world government, in a lot of ways, even at a surface level, I don't even have to describe a theory. They're against I mean, look at the Celestial Dragons. I don't know what they did, but clearly they have the wrong formula, right? Like, I'm not trying to end up with Mosgard, I don't want I don't think anyone does. Exactly. So I think hopefully you would hope after 800 years of no offense to Mosgard, but pre-time skip Mosgard, especially in general, right? Like you could kind of gather hey, yo guys, maybe we're wrong. Maybe maybe we don't have the right formula to how to spread our godliness around. Maybe we should need to start spreading the mixing the races a little bit instead of keeping it within.
Well, yeah, that ties into the whole Kingdom of One Piece thing, where it would be Nika going, at least my assumption is that it's the inverse of the world government, where he would go from island to island freeing people rather than enslaving and capturing them. And those newly freed kingdoms would go and join the great, like the free empire, of One Piece, and then that would make sense as to how all these cultures would mix. Because if we're saying that one of the biggest issues of Wano is that its borders are closed and it's an isolated nation, and that possibly, since Toki didn't ever go to Wano, even though she was from the Void Century, maybe Wano was open at that point in time. Maybe the world and all the kingdoms under this kingdom of One Piece were all open to each other and connected, and there was a big blending of cultures and all that stuff, which is how we get like different subsets of giants. That's how we get all these different various cultures we see today 800 years later. But maybe at one point it was all part of this like conglomeration of kingdoms that all kind of intermingled, all that cultural diffusion happening there. That's why Fishman Island has Asian influence and also has Greek influence. There's a lot of stuff going on there with that. So
and it's funny because I always bring it back to this point, the long leg versus long arm tribe war. A lot of people forget there's a 1,000-year war that predated the Void Century and ended in the Void Century. And what's funny is, like long legs versus long arm, it sounds goofy and whatever, but at the end of the day they could just mix, and we actually have long limbed tribe. And so it's so funny because they had a 1,000-year war, long arm versus long leg, and all they had to do was just get the best of both worlds and mix. And then now we have the long limb tribe, which I think the dude from Dressrosa, the guy with he had he is like the red and black theme. I forget his name, but he's long limb. And as someone pointed out to me after my few videos on the long arm, long leg, is that Luffy has the long limb in their crew, which is important because I think Roger's crew is very diverse too. He had giants on there, he had fishmen, I think he had like one of everything, and I think Luffy's team is very much the same way. And this comes back, dang, there's so much to our things. I just want to clear out the super chats and then we'll come back to this. Sure. Let's see. It's funny because we keep, even if the chat isn't the super chats aren't super relevant to what we're talking about, we just end up connecting because they don't know how much we talked about it behind the scenes.
This is a good point that you're mentioning before you get to that, just like the idea of Roger and Luffy's crew also kind of mirroring that kingdom. Like he's like kind of building that kingdom again, little by little, bringing all these cultures in, bringing all these people in from all these places. All of his crew members are people that he previously saved, for the most part, from imprisonment or whatever. So
100%.
I don't know, that's a really cool connection.
And there's a person on there that I'm okay with leaking out, but it'll be included in maybe 4 of my videos, maybe 4 of the future videos, but we'll talk about him in a second. So could Usopp be blood relative to Joy Boy? We talked, that's where we got here. From my perspective, I think there is a line where Usopp has some crazy lineage, like direct lineage, like absolutely insane. If you guys are in the Discord, you guys know, I forget who posted it recently. I was just like, I think it was Tachi. It might have been Tachi. Where I'm collecting these Usopp panels. I have a whole set of panels that I just not prioritizing to make a video yet. It'll happen soon. So next super chat, Danda Man, the Giga Chad, thanks for coming through. Thoughts on live action One Piece? Welcome Hidden just described. Oh, well, he's a great viewer to have. Thoughts on live. Thoughts on the live action. So just briefly, I said this in the Randy stream. We're gonna be talking about this in the Revery too. At the end of the day, they're doing more than anyone could have ever expected prior to this filming. I don't think there's any set of any type that is putting the amount of work that they're doing, the amount of details that they're putting in. I really like the casting for Luffy at the minimum. At the maximum, I haven't seen any casting that I'm just like, what are they doing here? No, like every point is just like, this is beautiful. This makes sense. The Sanji and Zeph casting, it just blows my mind how beautiful. Like they played stepfather, son in previous movies, and it's just beautiful that they somehow, without context, got that same thing happening here. So at the end of the day, I would say like I'm going to be supporting it when it comes out. I'm gonna be watching it. I'm gonna watch party it, days after, rewatching it for sure. You have any quick inputs on that, Hidden?
I'm excited for it. I mean, I always prefer to take like a positive approach than a negative approach, you know? If it turns out to be bad, then it's bad. Like I can't say I'm surprised because Netflix has been pumping out hot garbage for ever since the Void Century pretty much. So, you know, I want to be positive. I want to say that everything I've seen looks like they're putting a lot of heart, a lot of time and effort into it. Yeah, I mean, if it turns out to be good, that's a good thing for One Piece. We,
Yeah.
as One Piece fans, we should want it to be good. We should want it to be good. I see a lot of people being negative, and it's okay to be
Critical.
cautious, yeah, and cautious and critical. But it's not out yet. We don't know what the product is. We haven't seen the product, so. I would say remain cautious but optimistic as well, because if it is good, it's a really good thing for One Piece. It's a good thing for the community. I'm sure a lot of YouTube channels like us, like I hope it does well, because that'll bring a lot of new people into the series. And hey man, a bigger One Piece community is better for us, and it's better for you guys too, because there's more people to talk with. So,
Yeah, and I think at the end of the day, even if we don't like it, right? That's because we are the type of people that got absorbed into the manga, right? This shouldn't be made to attract people who would end up reading the manga, right? This is geared toward a new community, to bring a whole new subset of the world into One Piece. And so by that very nature, we probably may not like it, but that doesn't mean other people won't like it. That doesn't mean that other people won't have a great reception to it.
Yeah.
And in that line of context, right? Like being critical and being like dismissive is very different, right? Because like there's several things that I'll watch through and I'll be critical of it, and I may not like the thing, I may not re-watch it, but at the end of the day, this live action is something that I will go above and beyond to support, because One Piece has been in my life for 20 plus years. It's the least I could do to Oda, right? Like this man, we have this channel, we're talking to each other, he's putting out this thing every week. It's like, bro is a part of this project, I'm going to be supporting it, right? Like if there's anyone 100%. I'm gonna ride or die for right now, it's gonna be Oda. Like I think I laughed on this, I forgot who I was talking, I think it was Larry, that like soon we're gonna have like immortality, like through medicine, and if there's a person I'd give it to at first, I would be like, yo, Oda go first, you get it. He wouldn't want it though, because if he got his hands on it, he would be like, why am I putting out One Piece now? I'm gonna wait a little bit,
That's like the Eam thing to do, not the Joy Boy thing to do. That's like
100%
choosing the immortality over like accepting fate and like taking destiny for what it is. I think Oda wouldn't take the immortality of medicine or whatever.
100%.
I think knowing his story,
he would go Gear 5, have the time of his life, bounce around, right? Like Time Lord just mentioned, what do I think about the long animals on Long Ring, Long Land? Bro, I'm never going to be saying that ever, like, out loud. Long Ring, Long Land. In the video, I'm going to shorten it up, and I'm not going to be going through the tongue twister.
Long Land is good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we've talked about it, like how, Gear 5 probably is related there. It'll be interesting. It'll be crazy. I think that Foxy arc has to be important, right? There's no reason Oda 100%. Would make that canon without including that. So
I can't imagine he would spend pages like that making the Foxy arc, which is like notorious, like for how much people dislike it compared to everything else.
Right.
I don't think he would do that and then just never ever bring it up again or make it relevant again. Yeah, it's gonna come into play.
And I already have like 5 different things. I reread it recently, and I didn't even know where in the manga it was. Now I know by heart. But that being said, when I reread it, there was all like, I didn't even have to analyze. I stopped like 5 or 6 times in 5 chapters, and I was like, this is incredible. This is beautiful. So I'm gonna be doing videos on that very, very soon, actually. So
I'm sorry, I just wanted to say real quick, it's funny because I have a friend that's like just starting the series now, and I've been like begging him to start. He finally started, and he just finished Drum Island, and he was starting to skim a little bit, and I was noticing, I was like, dude, you're speed reading now? And he's like, bro, I just want to get to like where the real stuff happens. Like, you're telling me this, WAPO, like this guy's gonna be relevant. And it's so funny. And I was like, he was like, yeah, you're telling me this guy Wapol, he's gonna come back in 800 chapters, and I was like,
He does. He does.
I didn't say anything. I said nothing. I was like,
yeah.
I was like, it would be pretty crazy if he did, though, right? Like,
yeah, 100%, 100%. So, Mr. Bushido with another super chat. Thank you. I think you had total 3. Thank you. So, GARP is a former Rocks pirate, maybe partner. I wouldn't necessarily say that, but you know, there's a lot of Marines that have a relationship with Luffy, right? Like Smoker is probably a really a better parallel to what GARP was to Rocks. Probably, I wouldn't necessarily say that was his relationship to Roger, because at the end of the day, Smoker still wants to stop Luffy. Like, he's seen him liberate Alabasta, right? Like, he knew the true facts of of what happened there. And yet we see on Punk Hazards him still gunning for Luffy. In the time skip, him still gunning for Luffy. In a lot of ways, that feels more akin to what GARP's relation is to Rocks than what GARP would be to Roger. Because GARP and Roger were like homies, you know? Like, low-key, they were homies. They were just on different side of the coin, you know? So... and I think there was a line, I forget what chapter, I bring it up in a video, where GARP basically said, yo, though he was a pirate, you couldn't hate him. Like, he had, like, Roger had great morals. Like, he would not abandon a friend, he would not abandon, like, family, he would not do that, and that's a really respectful thing. So GARP had that line. And maybe Smoker develops into that situation where he sees, you know, Luffy throughout the series and it ends up being that relationship. I'm just saying that at the moment, right, the way it feels like it's like more, you know, Rocks and GARP probably weren't like homies like that, you know?
They weren't working together. I don't think they were working together at all. I'm pretty sure GARP was there by circumstance because he was a Marine and something related. Like, one of my big regrets for the video is not figuring out what happened exactly at God Valley, because whatever is at God Valley, there has to have been something, because why would Rocks go there specifically as part of his goal to take over the world? What's on God Valley that would help him with that? Why did he go there? You know, is that a location of an ancient weapon? Possibly. Is the reason that they had to protect the Celestial Dragons because it was a choice between that and letting an ancient weapon go off? Or was it were the slaves being held hostage by the Celestial Dragons, forcing them to defend them? Like, you know, like there's a lot of potential things that could have happened. That, like, why did Garp and Roger defend the nobles? Why was Rocks on God Valley? Like, what was the motivation for all that? And I don't think I have an answer for that just yet.
So I have a Yonko series on my channel, me and Mosh, DMC. If you guys, he was in the chat earlier. We started that, and the very discussion wasn't necessarily to figure out what happened at God Valley, but it's to give the context of what makes sense for God Valley to encompass. And even now, I don't think I have a theory, or backing up, I don't even think I want to touch what happened at God Valley, because it's so many different angles could happen. Like, while we were discussing it, I was thinking, like, yo, maybe the Three-Eyed Tribe was on God Valley, because they would be a threat to literally everyone. If Rocks made contact with them, I you know, if I was the World Government, I'd be trying to stop that too, right? And that might explain where Big Mom got the Three-Eyed Tribe member, because, like, where's Pudding's dad? Because I've always had this question, right, where it's like, if she had a full-blooded Three-Eyed Tribe member, why didn't she just keep him? Like, why is she relying on Pudding? It's a very weird thing. So I don't know if we'll ever get that answered, but it's like, where did they even come from? We're almost towards the end of the circumnavigation of the globe, and we haven't seen any inkling towards the Three-Eyed Tribe. So
yeah, you know, maybe she wasn't. Maybe she's not blood related to Big Mom. You know, it could be an adoption sort of thing, because when she met King, she asked King to join her kingdom because she's missing a Lunarian. So it's like, King is not her child, and maybe, I don't know if she was implying that she would be banging
Adopt
King.
him. Oh God.
Yeah, yo. I don't think that. I don't know if that was the implication. I'm pretty sure the implication was just adopting him into her kingdom as part of her collection. So I don't know if Pudding is, like, more like that, where it's like she brought her into the kingdom, like maybe Pudding is not her actual daughter, but she brought her in because that's a three-eyed tribe girl. Maybe she took her in at a young age. So
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, maybe she was planning to bang King, but you know, I think there's a
You
possibility
just scarred
that...
a bunch of these viewers' heads right now. They all have this thought in their minds. Just think it's young Big Mom, guys. Just do yourself the favor. And just the point, if that were the case and we did get King Jr., Katakuri would have a run for his money, bro.
Oh,
if
dude.
there was a Lunarian Big Mom running around, it's over. It's over. Luffy would have lost that whole Cake Island if we had to fight that. So here we're gonna run through the rest of the super chats and then get back to the video stuff, because we, you know, this I think you said 7:30 was the time, so let's give that hour to focus on this. I mean, not that we've been touching on bits and parts and pieces and stuff throughout the stuff. So let's see. The Cringe called Eaglebaz. Eam was a pirate and the 20 kings were truly kings. This is related to the video. Yes or no to that?
I think that was actually a possibility. That's a possibility I considered bringing up in the video, that, you know, maybe the kings were actually kings and it's just one pirate took them over and then spearheaded a movement.
Right.
Right. I mean, that is a possibility. I'm totally open to that as well. I do think that there is more in favor of them being pirates as well, just because of all the slavery connections, and we did get a look at the original King Don Quixote. You know, if all the celestial dragons were actual descendants of kings and not pirates, it would defeat the whole purpose of the theory to say that they're trying to cover up a history, like a blemish in their history that would out them as not being actual royalty. If it were that they were descendants of actual royalty and those kings were just manipulated by Eam, they would still be kings. They would still be princes, and they would still be royalty. So, you know, they still have a claim to their godhood, technically.
Yeah.
Their story doesn't change. The only thing that changes is who the leader is.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason I don't think that they were kings, but I think it's a possibility. I definitely do.
I think with your theory, the way you left it was actually the best, because it's too hard to say what formation of your theory is going to manifest in the story. It can go a lot of ways, but I think at the minimum, I think the whole pirating part was the origin story of the world. It just makes so much sense with not just like, I think I actually felt I gotta recheck the video, because I think there's this line that I was meaning to show you before the video, but I just kind of got swamped. Where it's another cricket line, but there's a few different stories of how people who you wouldn't think would become pirates in the story, cricket being one of them, and they say a few choice words into why they became pirates, and you touch upon this in your video, where it's just like the victors of the story to dictate the laws, right? So that being said, if you're against the law, what are you going to be branded? You're going to be branded a pirate, right? And I think that story is, you know, like, we meet Luffy. Luffy is not an evil dude, but if you brand him a pirate and he's coming to an island, I've never met him, bro's going to be scary, right? I think on Dressrosa, they thought he was a 20-foot tall monster, right? But, and so like, at the end of the day, the word pirate is a very funny, interesting word. I say ironic because, you know, like, yeah, I think this comes back to this whole idea. A lot of times when people in our world, you know, insult people, it comes from a place of projection. Like, they're projecting their own insecurities on others. And when you start looking at the world in a lens like that, you start realizing, oh, like, that's your issue, right? That's not our issue, right? And so in a lot of ways, the way the world government views pirating, it would make so much more sense if it was them projecting their insecurities of how they were pirates, and because the way they see the pirates is not the way we see the pirates, and even the more heinous pirates too. Like, a lot of these pirates have, like, Brook was a pirate, right? He had a bounty on his head, but they were just a pirate crew of, like, musicians running around. Like, Why would I
That's
ban
the
that?
thing.
Like,
That's the thing. Like, a lot of people probably look at pirates like, you know, oh, they're pirates. They can take over islands and they're dangerous. But at the end of the day, we have this big bad we have this big strong world government backing us. You know, pirates are nothing compared to the might of the Marines and the admirals and all this stuff. It's like such a big threat to punch a celestial dragon because you have a whole admiral come after you. So it's like the Marines are always played up compared to pirates. They're visually a much more intimidating and imposing force. So I could see a lot of the world just writing off pirates as like criminals, but nothing like to really take seriously. And it's the stuff that we should take seriously, like rocks attempting to take over the world and the Yonko taking their own territories and creating alliances that the world government is freaking out about, but they're not letting the public know. People aren't worried about that. People don't know about that. But the world government knows, and they're afraid. Why? Because they know what happens when these alliances form, because they did it themselves. The only reason they would be
100%.
afraid of such a thing is if they knew what could happen, because it's happened before.
Yeah.
So
100%.
That's why I really genuinely do feel that the pirate thing is true, and it would make a lot more sense why Pirate King is such a threat of a title to them, because in reality the Pirate King is the actual king. In reality, the Pirate King is not a pirate at all. I think the pirate part of Pirate King is an ironic title. It's a title that, you know, is kind of slapped onto it because the guy who finds the One Piece has to be a pirate because you're going against the world government's orders. The only way to actually claim this kingdom or to find this treasure is to become a pirate because they've outlawed the search for it. So
Right.
Pirate King is like an ironic title in a way. And if it is the actual true king of the world and the world government actually are just themselves pirates, then that means all the power balance in the world is balanced between pirates, and the Pirate King stands above all of them, which is why they're so afraid of it, which is why they executed Roger and all that stuff. It all connects, and the dominoes all fall in a nice, neat line when you put this piece in there that, like, I can't help but feel that way now. Like, I can't look at it a different way now that I've, like, taken this angle. Maybe that's a bad thing. Maybe that's like a tunnel vision sort of thing. But
no,
I
I mean,
know,
the line of logic
works.
makes sense where it's like, even when you look at the current day of the world government, they rely on pirates to maintain the equilibrium, right? Like that's core to that their system's flawed for doing that, but like that's their system. So it make, you know, rather than world government balancing out pirates, wouldn't it be more similar to just say pirates balancing out pirates, right? Like that, it just why would you have it any other way? And there's a few things in that discussion with, you know, why the projection stuff. I think when it comes to like what the D clan or you know, the ancient kingdom was doing, I almost think that they were advancing to a point where the world government couldn't keep up, and so that's primarily the reason why they would stop. It might make sense if the ancient kingdom was developing devil fruits, ancient weapons, like all of these things. Maybe they weren't using it in a bad way, like that wasn't their intentions. But if you're on the opposing side, you're like, we can't compete with that, we got to stop them, right? How would you compete with Shirahoshi and all these things, right? It might not be that the tool itself was bad, but in the wrong hands, right, it could be bad. And that's what, again, them projecting their insecurities, like, if we had this power, this is what we would do, right? But that's not what the ancient kingdom would do with it. And in that, by that same logic, we see a very interesting parallel in what the world government is researching, right? At Punk Hazard, there's not a single goddamn thing that they're doing on that thing that could be used for good. You can't tell me this poisonous smile gas thing, like all of that stuff is just pure evil. And that is what they put their research into. Versus we look at what the ancient kingdom, from very little we know, like, sure, it's called an ancient weapon, but it's a mermaid that can talk to sea kings. That's a very useful power. We can stop the sea kings from attacking us, right? Like, we can build in new places now.
And it's funny because we were talking about magic versus science before, but if we really, like, if we think about it, like, in a way, that's that is the difference between the ancient kingdom and the world government. The world government relies on their science. They're relying on like the SSG. They're like relying on all this technology they're developing now to counter the threat of pirates. But if we think about like what was spawned from the ancient kingdom, stuff like the ancient weapons, which so far the only one that we know for sure, it's a living being. It's a it's a power to communicate with sea kings. It's not a scientific thing. It's not like a tool. It's not
it's a 16-year-old girl like who cries.
It's not like a gun you pick up and like you press a button and then it does something. So maybe the difference is between the ancient kingdom and the world government. It's like magic and mysticism versus science and like brutal realism, because science in a way is godless if we think about it, because science doesn't take into question anything from like religions. It's like its own thing.
It's a different path.
It's a different path for like a very similar goal, where it's like you're trying to explain the answers of the world. Science explains the answers of the world just like religion does, but it does it in a different context. And things like we've seen it with the germa, like creating life, creating clones through science is a completely different method than maybe how are the devil fruits made. Like things like the devil fruits, the fact that the world government doesn't know how devil fruits work, and we know like up until just recently we didn't know how far up the ladder that knowledge was limited. We knew that CP9 didn't know how devil fruits worked, but now we see with the Nika reveal that the Gorosei don't even know how devil fruits work, because they're saying that they have a will of their own, but they don't know. This is, even the Gorosei are talking about rumors with devil fruits. So they didn't make them. Devil fruits did not come from the world government. It had to have come from that kingdom, and maybe they were made in response to what happened in the Void Century. So things like the ancient weapons, things like devil fruits, these are all mystical powers. The golden bell, the ringing of the golden bell, creating a sound to guide spirits back down to the trees in Shandor. Like these are all very magical things. So maybe that is what part of what the battle is. It's like the world government is an empire of science, and it's very Machiavellian, and the ancient kingdom was about dreams and mysticism and magic and things and that hockey. Aren't limited. Yeah, that conversation that Bellamy had with Luffy in Jaya, where he said, that thing, the knock-up stream, the Sky Islands, well, this can all be explained away by science. They found a reason and an explanation for how the knock-up streams happen. The era of dreams is over. That's what he said. The era of dreams is over.
Right.
All of this can be explained away by scientific phenomenon. There's no such thing as magic. There's no such thing as legends. But we know that there is, and they just exist as remnants of the Void Century. So really interesting that question that came up earlier with like who would win, tech, hockey, or devil fruits.
Yeah.
Who's going to win at the end of the One Piece story? Is it going to be the SSG? Is it going to be the tech of the world government? Or is it going to be...
I think we'll be surprised because, the SSG pacifistas, that's what we're getting at here, right? With tech, right? It's putting the devil fruits in there. But the one thing, right? And this will come out with my Vinsmoke video eventually. I know I've been saying it for a long time. But the idea with the Vinsmoke brothers is... Judge took away their emotions, and this is why I think emotions plays a huge role in hockey, and why Oda used Passions of the Soul as a reference for hockey to manifest itself. Look at Sanji. Sanji is able to use this incredible power from pre-time skip, and right now it's like passion, and now we're starting to learn more and more that this was hockey. This was hockey through and through. It's just a different form that we weren't really like realizing. And when Judge saw that he had hockey, he was just like, oh, wow, you're the son that had hockey. It's very interesting because the Vinsmoke brothers, they haven't shown any form of hockey, and what do they not have? They don't have emotions either. So that's where my emotional hockey part and elemental hockey really plays a big role, because until I see one of these conquerors, fake conquerors, demonstrate hockey without emotions, and that might be their come around, right? They might develop emotions because of Sanji, like we're seeing in the cover story. They went back and saved their brothers, and a lot of people are like, wait, I thought they didn't care about their family. I thought they were willing to die for whatever. I thought they didn't have emotions, right? This might be the storyline where they develop some sort of like camaraderie, some kind of emotion, some kind of way to elevate themselves, because it doesn't make sense for them to be like not fodder, but like, you know, they can't handle themselves with the big dogs just yet with the powers they've shown.
Right. We saw that with Mosgard, with his personality shift from
Yep.
you know, Fishman Island to now. We saw that like people can have a change of heart, and then we maybe even got that in the Void Century with the Nefertari family.
100%.
You know, maybe they had a change of heart as well, and it was influenced by what exactly happened back then that maybe have shocked him to the point where he decided to stay below instead of going with them. I want to answer. I'm sorry. I know this is your
super
job.
chats.
I saw my man Sebastian. He super chatted us in the chat. I think we missed it. He said,
you read that. You read that because that's you.
Let me read this. Hidden in Par. My bad. Working and traveling. Probably can't stay a while for the whole stream, but I'm 75% through your truth about everything theory, and it's godly. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate you.
It's beautiful.
I am so humbled to have friends like you and Larry and all you guys at that One Piece Talk. You guys are amazing. So thank you. 100%. I also saw someone asking me what flavor am I hitting in the vape. Strawberry watermelon today.
What a good one to choose.
Yeah.
And so if you guys don't know, Sebastian and earlier that One Piece Talk, they were here. I'll just, you know, especially since he has to go in a little bit. They're from that One Piece Talk. They have their own podcast channel. It's amazing. Awesome time. They're blowing up on TikTok right now. I literally devour everything, even when I'm not in the episodes. But that being said, Hidden and I were both on their channel earlier this year, and I'm going to be going back next Monday. So I'll be there in the studio. And so it's a great time. If you're not subscribed to them, definitely go subscribe to them.
Please do.
Yeah, because, you know, like these conversations, right, where we're trying to, you know, Mr. Bushido laughed, like every super chat leads to like a 20-minute discussion, but like truthfully, these are all people that can talk about One Piece endlessly. And you know, Hidden and I are talking about it with a focal point of our theory, but off the riff, man, we just go off. And then Sebastian and Larry, they're on a whole different side, like power scaling, you know, like power character reception, Ace, Sanji, Akainu, Whitebeard. You want to get heated, go to their channel because they get you heated. And Larry said this before. He's gotten me heated a few times. I'm just like, damn, this is exciting. So 100% go through to their channel. We'll both be there. Hidden's gonna be in Japan, so I'm sure during the break month he would have wanted to come through, but you know,
I will be there 1,000%. I'm gonna have to jump on another stream with them once I get back. That is definitely the plan. If I had more time in between now and when I went to Japan, I would definitely try and squeeze in a trip like on one of these Mondays, but you know, it's tough. But yeah, they're really great. You guys should watch them. I love their channel.
Yeah. So let's run through this and then we'll go more focused on the thing. And then after that, I'll do all the super chats at the end of the stream. And comments and stuff like that. So Smoker's the perfect Marine. He's the balance of all admirals, which is why he's white, as white is a commemoration of all colors and light spectrum. I do like that. I like that. Yeah. That makes sense. It'll be the one thing I want to say, Mr. Bushido, about that is I need Smoker to show up. I need him to show up. Like, he's so cool and he's not showing up. He honestly, his treatment's worse than Usopp's, I would say, like a little bit.
I'm still banking on the Morge theory that Smoker joins the crew at some point. That is one of the oldest theories that I'm in love with still, and I really want it to happen just because they need a Logia on the crew. I feel like I just want all devil fruits to get represented. And Smoker's so cool, man.
And I think his fruit, his power, he'll fit in nicely soon. It's just if Oda does it. And it makes sense that he would, because Smoker is with the world government, Marines. So if we're going to get some kind of like unity amongst everybody, it'll be like Smoker, Kobe, Sword with the Straw Hats, right?
And what's his role on the crew? What's Smoker's role in the crew? He's the engine, baby. He's going to just become the engine for the Thousand Suns.
Is that in the theory that Morge?
No, that's just mine. That's my part of it.
That's what I'm saying. Off the riff, this is the greatest thing.
You want Smoker on the Straw Hats crew? Oh, the question you might ask, Hidden. What could he possibly do on the crew? Oh, I don't know. Become the engine?
There'd be no stopping them. Who could get in their way if you had Smoker as the wheels? They
don't need cola anymore. The dude could just blast smoke out of the back of the ship.
Dude, that's phenomenal. I love
Yeah.
that. So we have bits from Matt Cypher. Hey guys, do you think that evolution in One Piece was born as a result of hockey, like fishmen were humans that really want to be fish, or a reverse? I not particularly with fishmen, but it would make sense because, you know, we have Kokoro who at the age of 50 then just becomes a human, and then she can turn back into a fish when she's in water. But that concept I did talk about in the Sanji, no, not the Sanji video, in the Strong World video, because I think that Oda used Strong World to storyboard a lot of the concept. Like literally the IQ plant is devil fruits, how it grows is it, and then there's the synthesis of it that Dr. Indigo does of the IQ plant that creates the abomination one, which is the smile fruit parallel. And there's just endless parallels with that within that story. And one of the best ones is, and this helps my elemental hockey theory, is that there's the island of Marivel, which in French is wonder, and that plays into the Passion of the Souls theory too. He named this place Wonder. And what do they wonder about? These people were subjugated by Shiki on this island, and it was a flying island, and they needed to escape. The only way to escape was to grow wings. And so these people, they have wings on their arms, but not like Skypians. It's growing like off of their arms. And it was said that they were like, how did you get these wings? And they were like, I guess we just really wished that we could, you know, fly away from this place, essentially. I'm paraphrasing the context, but that's the story development with that village. And so in a lot of ways, I feel like that is going to, if not has already played a role with Papagu and, like, you know, maybe fishmen, maybe giants, maybe whatever.
What's the name of this place?
Marivel.
How do I spell that?
Merivelle, I think. I wasn't in this. Yeah. You can look up Strong World on the wiki, and it should show. You can like Control F Marivel. Pretty sure.
Oh yes, I remember this. Okay.
Yep. And it was really emphasized, like it was said multiple times. But so in that logic, there's a group of people that Oda has. Yes, it's not canon, but if you look at my Strong World video, I think you would understand that Oda 100. I mean, the fact that the movie ended with how Wano ended, you can't tell me. I literally in that video was just like, hey guys, the only question mark right now is, will Oda end this the same way he ended with Shiki? I don't think so. That was my honest opinion. But what did we get? We got the same exact ending. So if you're gonna say that Strong World was not a storyboard, I will fight you on that. There will be hands being thrown, because
there's 1,000% connection between the movies and what happens in the story. I feel like all the movie villains to some degree are directly influenced by the current arc or the next arc 100%. Of the story. Like, for example, with Film Gold, it was a movie about Gil Tesoro, who was working with the Don Quixote pirates, and this came out at the time of the Dressrosa arc.
Right.
Stampede came out at the time of the Roger flashback with Odin, and that's where we got the stuff with Bullet, and we learned more about the Roger crew and Laughtail, and Bullet, in terms of at the very least physique, is very similar to Kaido. He's a big hulking man who is, like, you know, known as a legend, and he's like a remnant of that era, and Kaido is a remnant of the Rocks pirates, so like there's connections there. And now we have Film Red with Uda, which, like, if the next arc is going to be going into Shanks stuff, then I mean, you know, the pattern keeps happening. It keeps happening over and over. It just makes sense with how the story's going. Film Zed too, with like it took place right after the time skip, right after Marineford.
I like how you said Film Zed.
Yeah, well, that's what I call it because
it's his name. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, because like Film Z, it's just like every time I say One Piece Film Z, I've had so many people be like, "Oh, is that a Dragon Ball thing?" And it's like, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna start calling it Zed now. You know, that's
yeah. It makes sense. Yeah. So here, there's one last super chat. Oh, there's a few more. I don't think we'll be able to get to all of them right now, so I'll stop it right after the second bits one. So, Mr. Bushido, Nika could be an ancestor to minks and humans. Yeah, I earlier on in this year, I was thinking like there might be a possibility where, there's some. This is why the Toki theory was super important, right? Because Momo would essentially be a celestial dragon and ancient kingdom child, which would be the exact counter to what we're talking about, that the world government was trying to like prevent, like, you know, mixing of that sort. And so if the Amatsuki clan was a celestial dragon, like originating, you know, member, then Momo was gonna be hella important, super important. It might not be, you know, it might, I don't, no slander to the Bleach thing, but like it might not be that we get a character that is just one of everything, but it might be that we get several characters that become like, you know, together as a group, they encompass everything that we're looking for. Mr. Bushido again with a super chat. God Valley was home to the Eden Tree Devil Fruit creator. That would be interesting. For sure would be, I want to see more trees, 100%. You guys know all my videos, my past videos, I think I mentioned trees in every single video, even the Vanderdecken video.
They're important.
Yeah, 100%. So I'm gonna read this bits from Time Lord, and then I'm gonna read the rest of the super chats and bits at the end of the stream. So thank you guys for supporting, I really appreciate it. And these questions are really great because like we scheduled it out to talk about this video, and we have been, but these are some exciting questions that I think both of us are like thinking about future videos, if not more context to what we already had written. So Matt Cypher with the 50 bits, kind of funny how the other scientific kingdom are the Vinsmokes. Are they a dark reflection of the world government? Yeah, I think Hidden was bringing up that point that the scientific parts that are now pirates essentially, because Vegapunk was also, loosely considered a pirate. They arrested him and brought him under the thing. The Mads team might just be a pirate. Wait a second, that might just be the pirate crew.
A pirate crew of scientists.
Yeah, the Mads. Wait, that just makes so much sense. Okay, all right, but that's just another example of how loosely that brings me to a point. I'll bring it up in discussion with the word pirates. It's a funny one. I brought it up a long time ago, but here, Time Lord with another. Here's a theory of mine. What if the world government originally wanted the Nika fruit to have Vegapunk inserted to the red line, make it rubbery and indestructible, cementing the division of the world even after they fell? That would be wild. That would be actually, like, if they were trying to take the power to then incorporate it into their land. I don't think so, because I feel like they would just kind of like try to destroy it or somehow. You know what I mean? Like, would they have a use for the fruit? Maybe. But then they run the like, for example, right? It's not like they would give that fruit to an admiral, because like then they run the risk of that admiral awakening Nika, and then who knows what they would do then, So like they just they were so terrified they sacrificed their best agent to prevent the awakening of Nika, right? They did not care what Luffy is or what it was. It was like, no, Nika cannot breathe. We need to prevent this man from breathing, right? So I don't know if they would use it in that context, but the red line turning into rubber is definitely a fun, interesting theory.
Now you got me thinking, like, if they did get their hands on the Nika fruit, would they give it to someone? And if they did, like, I don't know, like, would they give it to GARP? Like, I'm just picturing GARP in like Gear 5th right now, and I'm just losing it. Like,
goodness,
so sick.
we need a commission fan art for that. GARP.
Yeah. If someone is an artist out there, draw GARP in Gear 5th. That'd be so cool.
So you know how you had that theory, and so again, guys, just reiterating, if you do super chat, it's not that I'm seeing them. It's not that I just want to get to the segment, and then at the end I'll bring it up. So apologies for not getting to it at the moment. And I am reading chat. So when you guys are like, talking about me, I see it. Yeah, we see it. We see it. So thank you guys for participating. Definitely appreciate all the activity. So remember how you had the Gear 5, one of your, major predictions was that the next evolution of Luffy's power is going to have some kind of giant form, right? Yeah. And so I had a very similar, not similar in the genre of what we're talking about, but I think I told this to Mosh. I was saying, and I never made a video about this, but I was saying that I think that it'll become a point where Luffy will be able to give his power to other people. And so I was thinking that Logia Awakenings might be able to like, oh, I said this in the Elemental Hockey video, that like Logia Awakenings might just like dust people. Like if some people are nearby a Logia and they awaken, they might turn into the element too. And I don't know what that would look like. It was crazy, but that's maybe why Akainu and Aokiji couldn't fight on an island where there were people. They had to go to an uninhabited place like Punk Hazard, and they had to do it there because if anything was in their vicinity, they would also turn into whatever element that they were. And the problem being is that unless you had proper hockey or whatever, you might not be able to handle that power. Who knows what would happen to you?
Interesting idea. If it's two Logias awakening on each other, then it's just like a battle of hockey. Like whoever has the stronger hockey overtakes the other person, and then you can easily imagine a scenario where they're evenly matched and the island is split between frozen and on fire. Because they weren't able to. They weren't able to overcome the other in terms of like hockey. If they were doing like a, hockey awakening battle type thing. That's an interesting idea. I like that a lot.
And so with that line of logic, I was like, damn, I think that in the last war, Luffy might be able to rubberize all of his allies. And that might give, like, imagine an entire fleet of people. Yeah, some of them are fodder, but can you fight rubber people? I don't think normal fodder can fight normal, like, rubber people, right? Like, if you just had Luffy and, you were going, like, Luffy was no-diffing all the regular people, right? Because they couldn't touch him. Unless they had a sword, I guess. But then, so then I had this, essentially, what I was telling Mosh was, like, and it might be possible now because he turned Kaido into rubber. I just didn't have, this was back in like December that I was thinking this. And I was like, damn, it might be that like Luffy, and maybe still now, like he'll be able to give other people Gear 5. Like everybody, like, and the inspiration for this idea was actually the Great Ninja War where Naruto gave his cloak to everybody. Yeah. So I was just like, damn, Luffy might do that same thing. It would be crazy, dude, but like...
Oh, if you get me on this train... Dude, like, the amount of stuff in Naruto's ending that I very much dislike, and, like, the mechanisms are in place in One Piece for the end of the series to play out in the exact same way. Like, with the moon people and like potentially aliens, and 100%. Then like Gecko Moria bringing everyone back from the dead, and then Luffy being able to put his Gear 5th on everybody. It's like the same. Like, if I don't want it to happen, but I see the pieces in place for something like that to happen, and it would make 100% make sense in the universe of One Piece. But I just, like, if we're doing Naruto
so you said
again.
something really important. You can see the pieces well before they just drop on your eye, and we defeat the final boss, and then a random moon person comes behind them, right? Like, it's
sure. The setup is there. Naruto didn't have the setup. The setup is there in One Piece.
Yeah, and like for another, no slander to Naruto stuff, right? I did enjoy it up until a certain point. There was some things that I wish were done in a different way, but Naruto is still one of the legendary classics. But that being said, the other gripe I had was the reanimation jutsu in general. Like there was some lead up to it, but then it just had straight up hacks. Like it was just like permanent, like infinite chakra, and I'm just like, bro, what? This is insane. And like to the point, Madara was just like, this is easy mode. Like I could go another level. You know what I mean? Like that was super dope, right? But that being said, like, no, we have this. Moria exists. We already had zombies. He already revamped the Rocks Pirates, like back on Thriller Bark before we even knew about the Rocks Pirates. So it's not a surprise if we see him reanimating the other half of the Rocks Pirates or the Rogers Pirates, right? Like it wouldn't be crazy to see Garp and not Garp. Garp dying. Okay, that's separate. But Roger and like Whitebeard is buried. Why can't Moria or Blackbeard just everybody should know where Whitebeard is buried. I mean, especially if Blackbeard took over all the territories, we're getting Ace and Whitebeard's dead bodies as Moria zombies, or whoever has the zombie, the Shadow Fruit.
I will say, if Luffy has to fight a zombie Ace or something like that, that would make Blackbeard That would definitely elevate Blackbeard as a villain, because not only is he the one that got Ace killed in the first place technically,
He
but then
brought him
he
back.
bringing him back to fight against Luffy, that would make him one of the most awful people in like any series ever. Like he's such a I want to like
Luffy would have such a tough time fighting.
Yeah, and that would be like, I mean, that lines up perfectly with his crew's dynamic, which is like underhanded tactics. It's like he knows that Luffy wouldn't be able to fight a zombie Ace, so he uses it to get the edge. You know,
100%. How can they use their devil fruits if they're dead? They won't. But the thing is, Whitebeard and Ace are monsters without their fruit, right? Like that was signified several times, right? Like Whitebeard could essentially at certain points could like, I mean, not no diff Ace, but like, you know, Whitebeard, if he could just manhandle Ace if he wanted to back then. And then same thing when he fought Blackbeard, Ace fought Blackbeard. Blackbeard's crew was just like, damn, we thought he was gonna be ass at fighting, but then Ace showed up and just like was a menace even without his fruit.
They could still have devil fruit powers while they're zombies. I mean, we saw with Oars that he started to develop the Gum Gum abilities because he had Luffy's shadow in him.
Well, no, he didn't have the Gum Gum abilities because of Luffy's shadow. He had the Gum Gum thing because of the shadow theory, because of the shadow revolution. Moria stretched his shadow. So Oars was trying to do the attacks because he thought he was Luffy, but they wouldn't stretch. And then so Moria made it stretch with his shadow, which is why the shadow theory, and I'm glad you said that, because you could recreate the devil fruits if my shadow theory goes to the nth degree, because there was a certain point in that video where I was just like, I don't think it goes that far, but if we were to talk about it in this context, this is what it would do. And so if it could go that far, if you were a better user of the shadow fruit, you could recreate devil fruit powers just purely based off of shadows, manipulating shadows and light. So it's that point is just saying that you know, the final war is gonna have zombies. It's gonna have a lot of crazy things that we have the setup for. At least we have the setup for. I don't think Oda will introduce something completely brand new unless it's related to like Eam. Unless it's Eam related, but I don't think there's gonna be something like behind Eam there's like a monster. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't feel like that. It doesn't feel like that.
Yeah, sure. I could see the zombie things happening just because Blackbeard kind of needs numbers. Luffy has his Grand Fleet, but as far as we know, like Blackbeard has his 10 ships, but I don't know if he has the same number in terms of like capacity of his crew as like the Grand Fleet of the Straw Hats. Like I don't know if he has that many people, so maybe he needs an army of the undead to supplement his numbers a little bit.
It makes sense too. Imagine like Moria just goes through. I'm not Moria. Blackbeard goes through all the people that, well, Luffy, they didn't, well, maybe that's why Luffy didn't kill anybody, doesn't kill anybody, but like they could easily get a bunch of people to just like join as zombies. Like so many islands, go everywhere. Oh, maybe that's why they were following like the Revolutionary Army stuff. Like they were mapping out where they would go to pick up bodies and stuff. Because I was wondering,
we have to get it before they get their hands on it. That's what he said.
Yeah,
I don't know, we don't know what he was talking about.
Like, this is a separate thing. You didn't include Drum Island in your video, right?
No.
Okay.
I talked about Wapole.
Yeah.
And but
I think his power is going to be really important. But now that I think about it, a lot of people ask the question about what Blackbeard was doing on Drum Island. Now I'm thinking about it. What if he was there to get like a corpse? What if there was something there on Drum Island that nobody knew about and he knew about? That would make... oh my God. Imagine Hero Luke's rocks. Crazy. Like, we just didn't know. He was rocks the whole time. Oh my goodness, that'd be wild. I mean, Hero Luke did say he made it to the last island, so, or like an island super far west. It was super cryptic, but
yeah, he was. I reread that recently. Actually, it's pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah. I always end up rereading Drum Island before I like get on a script. Somehow, some way or another, I just end up there. Chapter 140, always rereading it.
It's a good one, bro.
All right, so let's we got sidetracked decent amount. Dang, we don't have a lot of time, but
yeah, we did cover a lot of the videos anyway.
Yeah. So I would say, like, if I don't want to the Rome piece that there's a part that I want to stretch out when you brought up the grass crown. I want to bring up that part. So maybe we don't need to talk about that. But like, I guess so the question is, what was your spark for this video?
I mean, aside from our conversations, I wanted to do a video. I wanted to make a theory that was like bigger than my other theories. The original goal was I wanted a mega theory. I wanted to have my own mega theory. I don't want to make mega theories normally. I don't want to do it regularly, but I wanted to have one because I know that now we're getting into the last saga. Everyone is going to start putting some skin in the game. Everyone's going to get their 2 cents on what they think the One Piece is and all this stuff. So I just figured if everyone's going to be doing it within the next 1 or 2 years, which is probably what's going to happen, I want to get my 2 cents in first. I want to put in my theory first before we have the luxury of all the information that people will have in 2 years from now, so that in the chance that I'm right, I can say I did it back in 2022 and I did it with the information we had in that video. So I was like, you know what? Let me do this as soon as possible. Let me make this theory as soon as possible. I've had a bunch of loose ideas, like, you know, lying around that I wanted to use. And I figured, you know, let's see how they all connect together. And the more research I did, the more I realized that all of this is kind of tying into one large story. And then our conversation, it just set it off. Then I had some real ammunition and I was like, okay, now I gotta actually make this theory like now, like before I go to Japan, I gotta make this video, you know.
I just want to give some context to that conversation because it's something that I want to bring up before, but we both like, I mean my chat knows, like even you know from our original collab stream, 4-hour legendary stream, there's still gems in that have not been uncovered. And like in the conversation, Hidden was like, that's what you meant by that? Oh my goodness. Like there was so many different things. And at one point you asked me, you were like, how long have you thought of this? Like, and then I said, like, this is since the beginning of my channel. I just needed a way to like communicate. I needed time, I needed whatever. And I think like you know, some of the other videos were just jewels along the way, but it's just crazy because the chapters keep like reinforcing things and benefiting things. And what was even crazier was when we first talked, right? Because if you guys remember at the beginning of the video, I talked to him about the Rome piece thing. He brought up the Rome piece thing and I was just like, romance done, this is crazy. And then that started a whole like 6-hour conversation. And that's when I started, he's telling me about his mega theory idea and going through it. And then I started sharing some of mine. And then what we realized was that it was like complementary. It's so crazy how a theory can do that. And like, I think like, this is apologies to you because like, I feel like if I put out my video on schedule, then like your video, there would have been a lot more context because I think I don't know if you did this on purpose, but you left out some things that I was like, damn, he didn't explain that. He could have just explained that. And I feel like you didn't because you know I was going to have it in my video.
Partially, yes. I figured some of the stuff we talked about would make its way into your video. I also figured if I did put in every single thing that I thought connected, this video would be like an hour and a half long. And I don't know, I mean, as much as you guys say, oh, I wish this video was longer, you don't want to hear me talk about anything for an hour and a half, I feel like. Not scripted. That it'll get dry and like you'll lose the point of the video. Eventually, if I keep putting in all these points and then making all these points, the original point of the entire video gets lost and it just becomes a collection of ideas. So I figured I'd trim the fat, let you do some of the lifting on the other end with your video. And I mean, it doesn't matter that you didn't put it out in time for this premiere. At the end of the day, you know, this is a theory I'm hoping people will be able to look back on a year from now, 2 years from now, and still find it to be interesting. So, you know, there's plenty of time for you to like build your end of it, and then we can build off of our ideas. And you know, I figured I'd leave some loose ends, leave a little bit on the table for us to go back to it, you know?
Yeah. And it's funny because throughout this conversation, we talked about how even if we wanted to, we couldn't put in all of this information, which is why we're having part 2s and all that stuff, right? And truthfully also, like once we put out our videos, like the chat, our viewers, the people who helped you, the people who helped me, like the Discord, like you guys have incredible reactions and point out things that might or might not be related. But the point is, it's like the might nots are just as important, right? Because we have to see the whole picture to know what, you know, helps the idea, what takes down from the idea, which idea makes sense. And one of the biggest parts that I would say the difference between our two videos is like Hidden does a great job of painting the details of what happens in the Void Century. And I truthfully, even if I wanted to, I probably wouldn't go that deep because it required a lot more historical research too. You had to do a lot more of that. And then you also had, you know, what's it called? The connections you had were crazy, right? But like you also just, I don't know how you did it, but like you went through the story and it was like, it felt like you were telling the story of One Piece. And I think the overall response in the premiere was just like, bro is spoiling One Piece. And it was just crazy. Because I wouldn't say that my video is doing that. Rather, my Void Century video is talking about the context of the details that you have. And so that was the craziest part when we shared our stuff and we were, both of us were like more empowered in our theories. Like I was already gonna make it, but then I was just like, wait, this is exactly what I was saying, but I was just not gonna include this because I wasn't sure. But if you, after the Rome piece, after you put the details in, I was like, oh my God, wait, this is all beautiful. So that being said, I'm gonna be premiering my video tomorrow. Hopefully after the stream, I'll be cranking it out. It's mostly done. There's a few things at the end, which if you guys 100% would tell you to rewatch Hidden's video because I need to rewatch it. But then also at the very end, it's set up beautifully. I don't know if you did that on purpose, but it's set up beautifully for my video too. Just you're talking about the flooding stuff, and you know, even I think that idea was introduced in the collab stream that we had originally when I brought up the Shanks stuff.
That's why I put it last. I put it last. It was intentional because I wanted to give you a layup with the undersea stuff. That was the idea.
And it's incredible because like now people, like my whole channel connects, like in every video connects, and now I love that I have my like theories that connect to another channel, the Hidden Island channel, Mosh's channel, that One Piece talk. It's awesome to make these connections, you know. And so I think there was two things that you didn't address in your video. I don't think you addressed them strongly, but okay. I want to know because we talked about France, we talked about these things, and I think a lot of people are gonna wonder about this too. And this might be a good place to end on too, in terms of this conversation, because I don't want to keep you from. I don't want to incur the wrath of Mrs. Hidden Island. Yeah, exactly. So we'll be prompt and have a proper schedule here. And that being said, I think you're gonna head out at 7:30, right? So in about like 15ish minutes. So after that, I'll stay in the chat and I'll stay on the stream and I'll be talking to you guys until like 8 o'clock, and then I'll be hopping off, do that stuff. So some of my mods are heading out. Phantom Greyfire, thank you for being here. You're super helpful, especially early on when I needed all the links in. Always helpful. Homie Seal, thank you to my mods. If I will be getting to the super chats too, and I just want to say again, subscribe to Hidden Island. Definitely go do that. There's gonna be more collabs, more conversations. That's what One Piece is about. And I guess the other part would just be that make sure to blow up the video. Show some love. Rewatch it.
Share it. Get it
Share
out
it,
there.
Subscribe, all that jazz, right?
I'm gonna give you that homework too, Par. If you're at Revery tomorrow, you have a big position you're in. If you end up talking to any of these guys after the stream, put them onto it, because I feel like we need to get this out.
Stop what you're saying right now. We're gonna now you forced my hand. I was gonna end the stream on this, but here, all right, we're gonna hold that note because I think it's a better way to end the stream. So
sure.
So before that, you skillfully dodged Mihawk and you skillfully dodged Buggy, right? I don't think you mentioned Buggy too.
I did not mention Buggy.
where Yonko, two Yonko level characters not being mentioned in the story. What do you think the clown and the lone swordsman, right? Because Mihawk is one of the most important characters in my mind because he's the strongest swordsman, but is not from Wano. But what does this aesthetic remind us of, right? All the European stuff that we've been saying that, you know, right. So what are your thoughts? How do you think Mihawk and Buggy fit into this, your theory? What side of the aisle are they?
So in my opinion, with Mihawk, I'm not sure. I mean, as much as I think he will be important to the overall story of the One Piece world, I feel like Mihawk's story is more tied to Zoro than to Luffy. I feel like Zoro is having his own kind of little separate story with the whole world's greatest swordsman thing, and the stuff about swords and the stuff about swordsmen and all that, how that connects to Wano. There's definitely a separate kind of like line you can go in with the One Piece world. There's like devil fruits, there's hockey, there's all this stuff, and then there's swords. There's like the different grades of swords, and there's black blades, and there's all that stuff. There's a whole different system behind swords, and Zoro seems to have his own direction that he's going in that just happens to tie in with the Luffy's adventure, which is why he decided to follow along in the first place. So for me, Mihawk's importance is more than anything else, in my opinion, going to play into Zoro's story and what's going on with him. As for how it plays into everything with Nika and the Ancient Kingdom, the only point of connection I could find when I was like doing research for the video was the eyes, and the eye stuff definitely connects to what we were talking about with the right eye and Eam's eyes and Zunisha's eyes. There's definitely a connection there. I was also thinking that maybe, you know, when Luffy goes Gear 5th, his eyes change too, and we don't know what they look like, you know, officially colored, you know, the official like. The design you'll see put on renders around the end. We don't know what that looks like yet. We just have how it's drawn in the manga. So
we'll have to wait until hopefully the next volume cover, maybe.
Yeah, so if there's a connection there and Luffy's eyes are the same as Mihawk's eyes or something like that when he goes Gear 5th, then I'm going to start re-questioning everything. Then I'm going to have to find a way to fit him in, but
I did use the Mihawk eye logic to predict that Luffy was, before the chapter came out on Brago's stream, podcast with Artur. I remember this discreetly because Artur and Joy Boy Theories was there, and I said like they asked what is your prediction for the next chapter, and I said my one prediction was I think Zunisha would put out the fire. That was a low ball. The crazy one was that Luffy would have ringed eyes, and they were all like, I don't know about that. And Artur was just like, that's really abstract that you would ring that. And then the chapter dropped, and I was like, yo, he had the crazy eyes. His eyes changed, you know? So and a lot of people bring up that like you know, throughout like Caesar or during times of stress, people have like a similar eye set, but it's not permanent, right? Like Luffy throughout the entire thing had those eyes. That's a different, there's only so much you can do with eye designs in the first place that, you know, it makes sense that like there's a difference between like an instant change and a permanent change, right? And Luffy exhibited a permanent change with Gear 5. Well, permanent to Gear 5.
Well, it's like when you have characters drawn from a distance, they're drawn simply, and then when you draw them up close and you do a dramatic angle on the face, like it's like the stereotypical joke in anime where you'll have a character and then he'll get all serious and it zooms in on his face and it's like shaded dramatically and he has like the sharp nose and the detailed eyes. It's like that's not how they look typically, but for the sake of dramatization of this one moment, you get this look. So like that's what's happening there. But like with Gear 5th, he's clearly, his eyes are changing permanently in Gear 5th. Like they're in every panel he's in, they look like the design has been changed. So if that does end up connecting to Mihawk, I'm gonna have to find a way how to fit him in there. I do like your theory about him being a sword, so I'm also interested in that playing out. I still believe in my theory about how Mihawk was a member of the Red Hair Pirates at one point. So that's where he fits in. I couldn't find a way to get that into this video. And with Buggy, I mean, bro, I would be a
before we get to the Buggy thing, would it change your mind, just really quickly with Mihawk, would it change your mind to know that Ryuma, right? Ryuma, his sword, remember the personification of his sword? It wasn't a Wano person. Like Kozuburo and the other one could probably be Wano people, but Shusui looks like McGuy on
like,
Whitebeard's.
Like he has like that the twirly mustache.
He's like a European. He looks like European.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting. Ryuma, the sword god, his thing is the national treasure of Wano, but it doesn't seem like it was made on Wano. And so that interesting detail, because like everyone has been asking me, like, is Mihawk having a relation to Wano? And I'm just like, I don't think so. But this whole concept of the European I don't know all the terminologies between, you know, all the different wars and stuff, but I'd imagine there probably is an inspiration with Mihawk and this like Rome peace stuff and the, you know, French Revolution and whatever. Somehow Mihawk is in there, I think. And it's gonna be it's gonna be small but big. Like it's gonna be a small part, but it's gonna play a big impact. So I just wanted to
I could see that. I could see that playing. I could see that playing a part. I mean, Wano is the nation. It's like a country of swordsmen. So I mean,
yeah,
I would be lying if I said that I didn't think there was any connection. It's just hard for me to connect the dots on Mihawk because, you know, from what we've seen so far, his story is almost completely tied to Zoro's story thus far in the story. So like, there's no way for us to connect it to anything else related to like, you know, because like a lot of my video was built off of stuff connected to Luffy because Luffy is connected to Nika, and then it's a lot easier to trace that back. Like this X, Y, or Z happened, and we see it symbolically represented in Luffy or with the straw hat or something X, Y, or Z. Connect that to, well, Luffy also has the devil fruit of Nika and is Nika's likeness and all, like, so it's a lot easier to draw those connections. But with Mihawk, it's like the dead end lies at Zoro, and Zoro doesn't really play into any of this ancient history stuff. So that's why I found it hard to put him in there. And if you're ready to move on to Buggy, I was just gonna say with Buggy that I would be a fool to try and predict anything with Buggy at this point in the story, because I honestly, I'm telling you, one day I'll think something, and then the next day I'll think something else. I heard someone mention to me that Buggy is a fake Joy Boy, and that I was reading something about how, you know, Luffy's going to be doing all the heroing, but Buggy's going to get all the credit as Joy Boy because he's a clown. He's a literal clown, which is known to make people laugh and stuff like that. So like on the surface, Buggy is, you know, Buggy is not what he appears to be on the surface. That's the running theme with Buggy, where he's a clown, but he doesn't want to be made fun of for his nose deep inside. He is a Yonko or a warlord, and he's this big terrifying pirate who splits his body parts beneath a giant blanket, so he looks a lot larger than he actually is. But beneath that cloak, it's just him using his devil fruit. You know, he's not actually that large. So he's larger than life to everyone else, but the real Buggy, we know the real Buggy, and we know that Buggy is not what everyone thinks he is. So if that does get played into like the Joy Boy stuff, where he's mistaken for Joy Boy or something like that, you know, it works with the themes of the story thus far. That's just like one of the 15,000 angles Buggy could go in, because if you asked me 2 weeks ago, I wouldn't have said that this guy was going to be an emperor, and here we are. So I have no idea. I'm afraid to put Buggy anywhere in my video, because I just feel like whatever it is probably going to be wrong. I have a very bad track record at predicting Buggy stuff.
So what you're saying is leave the Buggy stuff to me. I got it.
What I'm saying is I'll leave Buggy to you, the rain god stuff to you, all that stuff.
Yo, it's gonna hit hard. There was a point I think I shared with you in the Void Century stuff about a certain thing that connected Sun God and Rain God in a certain way. That would be important if the 4 God thing works out, right? So that makes sense. Buggy is his character is meant to not be predictable in that regard. It's hard to say, right? Because he could be on one side or the other. I don't know. Like, is he like? He seems like he would fit better with the world government, but he's also a pirate. So, and he's like a true pirate, and he wants to be. There's so many things about Buggy, right? So we'll end it there. But sure. You pulled the trap card. I was gonna say this anyways, right? So I'm going to the Revery tomorrow. If you guys are not aware yet, tomorrow is the Revery, the YouTube Revery X, hosted by JD Legend. So it'll be on his stream, and all the big creators that you know or you don't know, they're gonna be there. We all rolled up into JD Legend's Discord and stream yesterday. It was pretty wild. I was beefing with Morge. It was funny. Morge came in. I'm gonna say this on stream, so if Morge ever sees this, Morge came in asking Jay to ban him and me. He would sacrifice himself to get me perma banned. And I was just like, what? What do we do? It was the first words he said. I was like, what are we doing, Morge? And then Jay's like, damn, I didn't know Morge was beefing with Par like that. So it was a fun one, but. It is tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time. I will be there. I don't know how, like, the schedule of when I will be there, but when I'm there, and I'll be probably typing to you guys in the Discord. So join the Discord for all of that. And I'm planning on premiering my video an hour before Revery, so that it jumps into the Revery, just like how Hidden's video jumped into my video today, or the stream today. So that being said, since I'm going to be at the, and I've been going around asking everybody this, but I've been waiting for this moment with you. If I had the chance to talk about this One Piece theory, what part of it? Because I don't think I'd be able to say everything, right? What part you want me to? Because I don't know how, if I'd be able to get a chance to be like, the One Piece is a king. You know what I mean? Like, which part? What part would you want me to?
What do you think? What do you think was the most interesting part of the What do you think was the most interesting and the most convincing part of the theory?
For me, that's a great question. For me, I like the crown. I like the crown. The straw hat being the crown. That's like I love that part. And the part, and if you guys love that part of it, just know that there was more to it also that we're like haven't talked about yet. But I really like the crown part. I think that's my favorite part.
It's a pretty good tagline. You could just like the you know how like they say like done piece for like O'Hara's theory, like the straw hat is a crown is a pretty good like few word hook just to get someone interested in the rest. So yeah, maybe that's a good one to talk about. The only thing with the straw hat being a crown thing is that it is predicated on the other stuff with the name of the ancient kingdom and with the origin of the world government. So it's hard to like throw that out there without the context of the other things and then be like, you know. So I mean, if you want to do that, if you're most hyped to talk about that, then go for it, dude. I guess the only thing I would personally like, if I had to choose what to talk about, I would probably either bring up the first two sections, like the world government were pirates originally, and the name of the ancient kingdom is the kingdom of One Piece. That would probably be like the main, that is the crux of the theory. Everything else is built off of those 2 points. So I don't know how that would fit in there, but like, you know, you're on there. You're the one that's on there. You're doing me the favor of even talking about it. So you do the choosing, bro. Whatever you like the most, talk about it. Like,
so I think a good place where I can enter in is there's probably going to be discussion about the Gorosei. So what is your, I at the beginning of the video, they're all pirates, but would you say the Gorosei were pirates?
No, I think that the 20 kings, all the descendants of the 20 kings, are there. No one in the world government now is a pirate. It's their descendants. It's their lineage. Eam, I think, is the only one that's still from the Void Century. I think Eam, out of everyone in the world government, Eam is the only person that remained from the Void Century, and that person is a pirate. That person is still alive, and yeah. But everyone else is just descendants of pirates. That's what they're afraid for people to know. So I think the Gorosei fall into that. I think they're just maybe here's a way to think about it. If they were a pirate alliance, maybe like if they had a crew dynamic similar to other pirate crews we've seen, where let's say the East Blue 5, there's 5 main pirates for the Straw Hats. There's 3 commanders for Yonko. Like maybe the Gorosei are the descendants of like the 5 like top pirates of that original alliance or something like that. Who knows, you know? But that's the way I feel like the Gorosei fit in.
All right, that sounds good. I think I mean, at the end of the day, you knew I was gonna try and fit a way to I got my own agenda.
I know.
This.
I know. Yeah, that's why I'm not worried. Like I don't want to tell you what to talk about. Like I know that whatever you talk about, and if you bring up the theory, it's going to be the parts of the theory that you're most enthusiastic about. And if I want other people to hear about my theory, I want it to be from an enthusiast, like someone enthusiastically talking about it. So
Right.
I don't want to be like, oh, you should talk about blah blah blah, or you should talk about the kingdom of Bingo Bongo, and then
Yo.
like, you know.
Bingo Bongo, that was incredible when he said that.
Yeah.
The chat went nuts.
Yeah. So, you know what? If I do merch, I'm gonna have to do a shirt that just says nothing on it, but the kingdom of Bingo Bongo or something, or like just Bingo Bongo across the shirt, like the front of the shirt in bold text. And it's like no one will know what the hell I'm talking about, and that's perfect because that no one knows what happened in the blank century either. So.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
So and if it comes out, I think Void Century might come up. So then obviously the synergy of our theories just works out. Where if I talk about mine, I'm gonna be talking about yours because
yeah, man.
It's funny because when we end up watching our videos together, it'll be like a loop. Like you could watch your video and then or watch my video and then it just like full circles. It's incredible. So
honestly, at this point, I feel like it's so hard for me to talk about like my theories in One Piece without bringing up you or the conversations we have, because I feel like it's just like at this point, like we have so many ideas that we've shared, and like our theories are connecting now. They're starting to connect. So like, yeah.
I mean, especially with something like the Void Century.
Yeah.
A good theory is going to connect one way or the other, but like the fact that, and the viewers are going to see it once my video is out. It's like, oh, wow. Oh, wow. And this isn't even the full picture. Like, I'm just telling you, like, the video is going to be 40 minutes, right? His video is 45 minutes. My video is probably going to be like 45 minutes an hour. We talked for 6 hours, guys. We talked for so long.
Like a lot. It was crazy.
Like, I talked about my Shanks theory. I talked about so many things. Like, oh my God, it was incredible. And I think that's at the end of the day where it's crazy that we spent this long talking about this one theory that is expansive to the story, but there's so many other elements. Like I brought up Buggy and you just kind of were like, nah, fuck that, dude. I'm not trying to.
Dude, there were so many things I wish I could have talked about in the video. I didn't even get to address why Roger laughed. That's my big, that's, if there's one regret in the entire theory that I had, like one thing I wish I could have figured out the answer to and put in there, it's that. I wish I had a clear and concise answer for why Roger laughed, and I can't connect that into the theory with what I have right now. That's the thing. So it's
we talked about that.
There's so many other things that like I would love to talk about, but just leave it out there. Like we covered so much today. You're gonna have a video that's gonna talk about all these other things. Like it just works out that way, man. Especially with my format, I tend to like take the storytelling angle. You take the very analytical and like detailed approach. They're very complementary in that regard. So I feel like especially with this subject, there's just a lot to talk about and a lot of different ways to cover it. And I'm very excited for your video because after all this work today, now all I got to do is just sit back, unwind, and wait for you to blow my mind in return. Like actually show me what I'm missing in mine. That's what I'm excited for.
And and also I'm not sure, this probably isn't scheduled out yet, but Hidden will be streaming tomorrow with the guy who got you like the start of everything, right? So just before you head out.
I do have that scheduled. I have it. It's going to be tomorrow at 6 p.m. I really wish I could have done it any day that wasn't on the day of the Reverie, but I have to coordinate with my buddy. He's going to be coming in person, so it's like we're going to be in front of the camera together. And the plan is tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern time. I'm going to be getting my friend here. He's one of my best friends. He is the guy who got me into One Piece in the first place, so he holds a very special status on the channel. And we're going to be talking about some One Piece stuff, and what we're going to do for the main part of the stream is he's very big into like fighting games. He likes Street Fighter a lot. He's really into King of Fighters, Guilty Gear, all this stuff. So what I wanted to do, there's no good One Piece fighting game. There's no like Street Fighter level One Piece fighting game or like Dragon Ball Fighters. We're going to make a dream roster for like if a One Piece fighting game were to be made. We're going to have an in-depth talk about like who we'd want on the character list. We're going to set rules, have a limited number of slots, and we're going to debate over what our characters would be and how they would play. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in and you want to want to have some fun, like not manga related One Piece discussion. That's what we're going to be doing tomorrow at 6 p.m. Hopefully, I think that misses most of the Reverie will be done by that point, right? I was hoping to do it late enough where.
I'm not
When
sure.
does the Reverie? Do you know when the Reverie starts tomorrow?
It starts at 3 p.m. and
3
I think
p.m.?
Jay's going for like a 7 hour.
7 hours. 7 hours. Wow.
Yeah.
Good luck. That's a long one.
I mean, I streamed for 8 hours one day on
I
accident.
say that
so.
like I haven't done a 7 hour stream within the last month, but like but yeah, like so hopefully hopefully I won't cut into that stream that's going on too much, but I will be there for a good amount of the Reverie watching, and then catch me on the stream tomorrow, guys. I wouldn't be upset if you guys want to watch the Reverie instead. That's why we're kind of doing this like not big topic. We're just kind of having fun shooting the shit over this idea because we figured most people would be watching the Reverie anyway. But feel free to stop by. It'll be fun. So.
All right. So, and I already said this when Hidden goes to Japan for the next 5 weeks, I'll be glued to the screen because that's the other content that he's coming out with. Normally on streams also, it's a great time. I'm usually there too. He does like theory reviews. I'm like the backup theorist. Like, so if there's not other theories that he has on queue, he'll just pull out the ParVision theory. And we have a good time watching those.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I know you have to go. I kept you a little longer than I don't want to get.
No, that's okay. I said 7. I said 7:30 because I have to be ready by 8. So
got you.
That's
All
why.
right.
Yeah.
So make sure you guys go show Hidden a lot of love. Thank you for coming today, Hidden. Beyond just this, like I'm glad we finally had the time to do this, and then also just the conversations. I'm glad I get to talk to you every day.
Dude, likewise, man. It's a pleasure. I first off, thank you for having me on, and I just want to reciprocate that. Like, one of my favorite parts about making a YouTube channel has been making friends with you, with Larry, with everyone. I mean, I've talked to so many different people now that I wouldn't have known if not for the channel. And I just appreciate that, like, anytime I have an idea about One Piece, I can just send it to you and get your thoughts on it. And it's like, I didn't appreciate that much in the past before I made this channel because I didn't have that many friends to talk about it with. And now that it's like there's another person that's just as crazy about the series as I am, I could send it to you. Like, I just really appreciate that. And you always support me. All you guys always support me. And it really means a lot. Even the fact that you're going to Reverie and you're still thinking about bringing my video up is something that that really touches me. And I appreciate that a lot, man. So
Anytime, homie.
I mean, I can't tell you how hyped I was to find out you were going. Like, I thought they were closed on entrance, So when you told me you were going to Reverie, I was like, no,
I thought so
way.
too.
Dude, that's such a sick surprise, especially kind of last minute too. Like it just came out of nowhere. So I'm so happy for you. If you guys are in the chat, you want to throw ParVision a W, get some ParVision W's in the chat. This man is going to Reverie. He's going to a collection of like the biggest One Piece YouTube channels, and he just started his channel this year. Let me put this in perspective for you guys. We started our channels at roughly the same time. This guy's already going to Reverie. If that isn't a supernova, I have no clue what is, bro. That's some awesome stuff. So just
Thank you.
Yeah, like give this man some props. It's some really, really cool stuff that's happening in the community right now, and this man is he's like spearheading that, like he's part of that. So
I don't do well with upfront compliments like this, but like all I can say is that it wouldn't it's the same thing. Like I wouldn't be doing this without you guys in the chat, without Hidden, Larry, everybody. The conversations are truthfully what's driving me forward, the Discord, everything. So I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you so much. So tell Mrs. Hidden Island that send my regards and have a safe trip also.
Thank you.
I mean we're gonna talk, but also
we'll talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys. Next time you see me, I will be in Wano. So.
Oh, and also he might be how I have. It's not jank, but like the goofy Buster Call thing. He might be able to get me the golden Denden Mushi from Japan.
I forgot to mention that. I was gonna mention that when you brought it up earlier. I was like, oh, I have to get you. If I see the golden Denden Mushi, I'm getting it for you. If I see anything else that's like cool in general, like I might just send it to you and be like, yo, you want this?
Yeah, 100% do that. 100%.
Yeah, I will.
I need more props. That is one thing. I have a cactus, a sword. I need a Denden Mushi. So So
we got to get that wall behind you prettied up. We got to get some decorations on there.
This is true. This is true.
Get like a poster. We got to get like I got to get you like an official poster or like wall scroll or something.
Yeah, that'd be dope. Oh wow, that'd be dope. That'd be dope. 100%.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye out, bro.
Yeah, thank you for that.
For sure.
All right, bro. Talk to you soon. Hopefully, I'll probably talk to you later today.
We'll talk later. But you guys in the chat probably won't talk to me today. So yeah, I'll talk to you guys. I'll see you guys later. I'll see you tomorrow on the stream. I'll see Par on the Reverie tomorrow. All you guys, thank you for having me, and I'm happy to be here. Peace out. This has been the Hidden Island. Have a beautiful day, night, and romance on. Ladies and gentlemen, I will catch you later. I'm bouncing. Right. Thank you, Par.
Thank you. All right, here we are. We're back. Oh no. Wait, hold on. I have to swap this around. 1 second. Boom. All right, there we're good. All right, there we go. All right, so we're here now. I am going to now look at the chats because I have been neglecting you guys. 3 Day, I saw at the beginning of the thing. I'm just not the type to shout out these things, but it's crazy. I hit 16K today. I didn't even expect that. I saw earlier it was like 15.7 or something, and I started the stream and it's at 16. Incredible. I didn't even put out my video out today. It's so fun. Kwani, the resurgence of new creators has been awesome to watch. Yo, and that so I just want to emphasize, if you guys aren't in the Discord, please go in the Discord, because there's that One Piece Talk Discord, my Discord, Hidden Islands Discord. All of our Discords are literally made to incentivize the thoughts. You know, like you won't catch a moment where any one of us is like shooting down ideas, right? Like if you have an idea, make a video, share it, talk about it. Like that's the point, right? Like I got inspired by somebody else on TikTok. That was Mosh DMC, and then here I am making videos, and my contribution always is to inspire thinking and to make people happy, like smile, right? Like I think when I came into the One Piece scene, there was like a lot of, not negativity, it wasn't that, but it was kind of like jadedness almost, right? And I was just like, yo, these ideas, why not? Why can't this happen? We have a starfish, bro. Like is a human. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and so with my videos, a lot of the videos are crazier, all that stuff. It's just like, I'll take the slack for being the crazy one in the community, right? Like I'm at 16K now, and I have a video about Vanderdecken being a mushroom and Mihawk as being a sword. I'm sure you guys have better ideas than that, right? Like, and the point being is that, like, don't be afraid of the crazy thoughts. There were some things that we talked about earlier, how, like, you know, some cultures may not be what Oda is referencing, but that doesn't change the fact that it's interesting to think about, right? And so my goal is just to, you know, like, hopefully by being here, you guys enjoy One Piece a little bit more. I do have some people who commented in recent videos that they're rereading or rewatching the series with my theories now in context. Like, they purposely watched all my videos, then they started rereading stuff, and they were like, bro, this is insane. Like it's like a new series again. And I'm just like, damn, I need to do that. Like it. At one point, I'm definitely gonna go back and like do a full reread. I mean, I'm doing that with my wife. She's starting. I think it's like episode 20, so definitely be doing that. Par is the joy boy of the community. Okay. Spent half the stream just legitimately happy. I'm glad. Whenever I talk with Hidden. It's just a great time. 100% great time. And we're very, at the end, you guys don't even know our lore to that extent. Like, I think we shared a little bit on his stream, but when we talked about it, I was like, bro, are we just clones? Like, what is happening? Like, we're completely different, like, people from different, like, personalities, but there were so many things that connected. And I was just like, what? what happened here? It was crazy. Lodestar Island is an island of just Starman. Yo, that's funny. Rabbithead, you had a comment earlier. It was really crazy because I'm sure you remember your comments. I don't remember it, but I remember reading it, and I was just like, oh shit, that's in my video. So I didn't read it, but I read it. I read it, but I didn't read it out loud. So sorry about that. I did see that. And again, to you guys and all in the chat, I've been reading. I'm in here. You know, we're here. Let me get through some of these last super chats that I said I was gonna get to, and I'll probably be closing out the stream a little bit after 8. Yep, Time Lord, perfect timing. Great. So here we go. Time Lord, last of my bits. Oh wow, damn. And last question for both of you. What do you... Oh, I'm so sorry I didn't get to him. What do you think the intended purpose is of Tequila's Wolf's giant bridge? How do you think the government was planning on using it? I talk about that in my video. I don't necessarily want to say what it is right now, but let's just say it's a way to avoid the it's a way to avoid the great cleansing. Let's go with that. That's a little in detail. I'm gonna say that is so it's interesting. All right. Bit donation. All right, cool. Matt Cypher with the 40 bits. Yo, were there any zombies on Thriller Bark that had devil fruits? From my memory, no. Absalom was not that kind of a zombie. I don't think any one of them had devil fruits. No, I don't think so. Correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, that's the last one. Cool. Nice. Nice to stop holding back. Yo, it's an issue, but it's also not. Like, Larry says I gotta stop spilling the beans. But the thing is, I have so many, and Hidden knows this. What he told me in our call was just like, after I talked about our theories together, he was just like, you've been holding on to this for like 8 months now? What? Like, you haven't told anybody this stuff? And I was like, I'm trying to get to the point where it makes sense, right? Like, and he's like, yeah, that it does make sense that you were holding on. It's just crazy. And then like, and then like, I would say like 40% of the conversation are things that are not going to be made into videos. And he's just like, bro, like, these are all like incredible ideas. And I was just like, yeah, it's just, I don't know if I have the time right now. Hopefully I'm getting there. It's just like, you know, this week, for example, I wanted to get a bunch of videos out, then life came in the way. And then I was just kind of like, all right, the only things, I just need to get one video out. I need to do the stream with Hidden, and then the Revery, and then that, you know, that's a lot. And I'll have more news as to why at the end of the break month. I just don't want to talk about it right now. So Par is hiding the vision. I am trying my best to bring you along the vision, because Hidden also said this too. He was just like, it's crazy because like you say these things that sound absurd, but you line it up so that it makes sense. And so like it like the degree of knowledge that you have of my channel elevates the reception of each video. Meaning Hidden Island now for a while now will have like an elevated version than you guys, because he already knows like where I want to go a little bit, and he's just like, damn, what the fuck, like you thought about this all this time ago? And I'm just like, yeah, it's just the way my brain works, I guess. What do you think happens if you raise a body that once housed a devil fruit? I don't know. Like a Logia? Like if we took Ace's body and put a zombie in it, the body is not supposed to maintain the memory of thing unless it's like I'd imagine it'd be like Ors. Like Ors would be like Gomu Gomu, but like flipped. But so like if you had Ace's body, he'd be like Firefly. He'd be like, I don't remember his move. Fire Fist, right? Like he'd be doing that and nothing would happen, right? Death Fruit is gone. Look at Whitebeard. Yeah, 100%. I lied. Par is no longer the Joy Boy. He is the world government confirmed. Or extract a shadow from the devil fruit and put in. Yeah, that would be crazy. I want the shadow theory to come true. Even Hidden walked into the shadow theory. That was funny in this conversation, in this stream. He basically walked into the shadow theory. He's just like, well, if this makes sense, I was like, shadow theory. That's another reason why it makes sense. Would you ever consider making a mega theory that explains all your thoughts? No. Oh my goodness. My learning lesson was the Sanji video. I wrote that to be broken up into 3 parts, but it was also a mega theory, and that making that was incredibly difficult, especially at the time. Not, not that the monetization was like a big thing, but that does help incentivize, like, an hour 30-minute video on Sanji. It takes an incredible Sanji's video was particularly difficult in the sense of I pulled from a lot of different sources, so it took a lot more time than my usual scripts. Matt Cypher, hey guys, I need to bounce from it's been fun. Thank you for coming through. Thank you for all the support super chats. I appreciate you. Also 3-Day, you're a madman. You're a super visionary on YouTube, and then I saw the Patreon. Thank you. Appreciate you. I'm definitely, you guys already know, especially my subscribers, they already know that I have a lot on my plate at the moment. That being said, maybe okay, so Igobaz, what I might do is after I get through the crux of a lot of my theories, I might do a video that runs through my entire channel in brief things and be like this and this blah blah blah, and that's why, like piecing all the puzzles together, or puzzle pieces together. I might do something like that. I don't know how long that video would be, but I really would want to do something like that, because when I tell you all of these ideas, I don't know if you guys knew this, my first major video was the elemental hockey stuff, right? But if you look at my TikTok, all my TikToks were leading up to that elemental hockey video. There was a lot of planning there, and the main thing was that wasn't my first mega theory. I didn't post my first mega theory. My first mega video was my sun and moon lore analysis. So, and I wish I did it. I guess I couldn't have gone wrong whichever way, because now the sun and moon is so important, and I should have made the video. But it was basically dissecting every analytical part that you could and going to the part, and I think the end of the script talks about Luffy and Sanji and Zoro in regards to the sun and moon, and you see that in some of my videos, but it was more concrete, like where we'd see the elements of the sun, where we'd see the elements of the moon. So it was super interesting. I might dust off that theory soon. 4-hour mega theory, it'd be crazy. Thank you, 3-Day. Wow, the blue just kind of flashed in my eyes. Congrats on the Revery. Thank you for the super chat. Congrats on the Revery. So happy for you. I upgrade today. I'm now an ultimate visionary. What? Wait, what? Why are you an alt? Oh my god, I don't have the things. Thank you for doing that. That's wild. First of all, if you guys don't know how much of a Giga Chad 3-Day is for this, the current perks is that if you are a super visionary, which is the middle tier, and that's the same thing for like Twitch, if you're a middle tier thing, I'm going to be putting out audio only clips of my videos when I get the chance to add to my my video output. So like today, the Void Sentry video, right? I could have the audio posted on my channel, and then the subscribers would get it ahead of time. So if I don't animate it in a day or a few days or a week, then the subscribers hear all my audio way ahead of time. And so 3 days is out of the pocket is just like, I already have that access, so I'm gonna level up and go to Ultimate Visionary. So Giga Chad there, also Patreon, appreciate you, thank you. I did that like 5 minutes ago, super chat. Well, it was great timing. Myriad, thank you for joining as a visionary on YouTube. Thank you, I appreciate you. And I appreciate all of our conversations too. One of the OGs that I remember. Yo, Jay in the big congrats for the Revery. Why did I read that like a goofball? Big congrats for the Revery, man. I'm excited to see you as a viewer, bro. This is it, like Hidden brought it up before. I didn't even have a channel. I didn't even know all this stuff existed, and then to be in the world, to be beefing with you guys, like thank you. I don't know the process is, but I'm definitely excited to be there. I'm excited for your hosting too. I was always like, I think when I first came onto your stream, I think that was one of the things I was saying. I was like, damn, Jay is like a great streamer. Like he has the personality that like, you just want to be be in the presence of this. So it makes a lot of sense being there. I'm excited for what you do. A lot of people have high, it's crazy. A lot of people have low expectations and high expectations. I don't know why that there's such a disparity, but I'm just like, yo, it doesn't matter what it is. You should be expecting a hype ass time. It's going to be crazy. Yo, Noor, sorry. I'm going to read the chat. Sorry. What's it called? Was there a super chat I missed? Oh, no, I got it. Okay. Do you think Yorkie is alive? I believe he will come back and might play a role in the future. Not alive. I wouldn't say alive. It could be, right? They sailed off. We don't know if they're alive or not. But I would say I do have a theory that plays into giving greater importance to Brooke and Yorkie originally. So, I definitely think that. So I think I said this in my last Voice of All Things. I think there's multiple paths to the true history of the world. I talk about that in the Nolan video, where it's like poneglyphs, there's plants, botany, right? Like if you studied botany and you ended up on devil fruits, maybe you'd understand the true history of the world. So there, and then there's also music. I haven't talked about this explicitly, but music. Yorkie's crew is about musicians, right? It's funny, I brought it up earlier. It's like, why would you put a bounty on a pirate crew of musicians? That's such a weird thing. But if you were like a musician who maybe there's a line of a way that you become an issue for the world government, and if you like Bing Sake, right? If you spread that song around, right, it's spread around the community, and everyone's here looking at Bing Sake like, oh my god, it says moon, it says sun, it says waves, it says laugh tail. Like, we're analyzing it too, right? So then it like, I would imagine if Bing Sake became a huge thing in the world, then that might cause problems to the world government. That might be why because from what I understand, just pause. Yorkie's crew, they were not like pirates. They were going around just like a mariachi band, right? Like they were just going around just singing, making people happy. Why would you put a bounty on that? Like that's so out of pocket. Like they're just having a good time. Jay said, I appreciate that, bro. It's gonna be a time. Yo, it's gonna be a fun time. 100%. I'm excited. You just gotta let me know when everyone starts drinking or shit, like, so that I know and to go out of pocket too. Like I needed the code switch. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if there's a memo. I didn't get the memo, but you know, we're here for it. Bro, the stuff with geologists and botanists, yeah, 100%. I think at the end of the day, and this will be, I don't know which video I'm gonna do this in, but at the end of the day, I think that that concept that Homie Seal's talking about right here is a testament to real life in general, right? Like I think Oda might be portraying a story, and we see it in the storyline. It's like, if you're passionate about something, right? What does Luffy do? Luffy says, go for it. Do it. It doesn't matter what it is. Do it, right? And I think that applies to the real world. If you're passionate about something, do it, right? And it seems like the world government is just against passion, right? Like if you're passionate about history, rocks, plants, music, whatever it is, they just don't want you to vibe, right? Like, why are we out here hunting dudes looking at rocks, right? Like, let them look at rocks. What are they going to do? Do you think Vegapunks is actually a botanist? I would love that. I would actually really like that. I think Vegapunk is just like once you get to a certain knowledge level, you probably he probably starts dipping his toes into everything else. It also seems like Vegapunk is just like a jack of all trades when it comes to science. Read JD. I love when he does that happy, gleeful smile. He looks so pure, man. Yo, Jay was having a great time with The Walking Dead yesterday on stream. The Revery essentially raided Jay's Twitch stream yesterday, and it was hilarious. Even in the chat, it was entertaining. Randy, Morge, Virgo, Townsy. There was a bunch of people. I forget if there was others. Apologies if you're here and you hear this and I forgot about you. I didn't forget. I'm just a newborn baby when it comes to the scene. I just see what comes to me and I interact. So, dude, think of how much. Yeah, exactly. Music is political. Yeah, 100%. There's songs that are banned in some countries. There's artists that are banned in some countries. Were Onis a categorical race, or was it a title attributed to Kaido Yamato? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. If you find out about Onis, tell me in my Discord, because ancient giants, Onis, I don't know. People die when they're forgotten. The world government is trying to snuff out the truth by making it forgotten. Yeah, 100%. Any thoughts on Nolan particular interest for pumpkins? Oh, you're talking about in the thing, he was eyeing that pumpkin. I don't know if there's a particular, I mean, besides Halloween, I don't know if there's like a pumpkin lore. If he was looking at potatoes though, that'd be wild, because the whole Ireland thing, the connection. So it'd be interesting. My prediction is that Par will be at 17k subs after the Reverie. Hey, I mean, your guess, it's up to the viewers. I mean, it's actually up to I could bomb completely. I could just make a whole fool of myself, right? That would be an interesting ParVision situation. But I think it'll be fine. I think I'm vibing. I just gotta reel in the. So the thing is, Jay set me off, right? Because a lot of people are like, yo, you need to be more what's it called, aggressive, right? And the thing is, you guys haven't seen me in a situation like that, right? Because I'm not trying to fight you guys on my stream. I'm trying to make you guys here welcome. And when I go to the podcast, like with Larry, it's not like I'm like, I want, they're my friends, right? And I'm not saying the YouTube creators aren't my friends, but once Jay said, you gotta fight people, I'm like, oh, we're doing that. We're fighting. And so then then on the stream it's like, oh, let's reel it back a little bit. We don't need you starting beef with everyone. And I was just like, oh wait, I'm not starting beef, but it's definitely gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a good time. Everyone hopefully can recognize it's all in good fun. I recently reread the Rev. Oh, I thought you meant like reread, like you reread like the Revery like transcript or something. Everything that was said. And one small detail I noticed is the Gorosei looks scared like angry while bowing to Emu. They might be good people, just a thought. A lot of people have the flip thought that Emu is the good one and the Gorosei are controlling them. It's interesting. I don't know. Emu doesn't seem like a particularly like powerful person, right? Because if you were, then why would so many bad things happen from their perspective? How those things happen, right? 50k after Reverie? Ain't no way. If I was on my game this week and I didn't fall off the grind, maybe my videos would have carried me. But that being said, I do have a lot. I'm gonna get the Void Sentry video out tomorrow. I actually prioritized. I was gonna do the Wano video first, but then I was like, I'll just do the Void Sentry video first. So I'll do the Void Sentry. Then I have that Wano video, which is not a mega theory, but it is really big. Then I have the Shanks video, and then I have the Elemental Hockey video. Those are on the docket after the Reverie. So I got some big video. If you guys thought my recent videos were good, there's some legendary videos out here. Hey Par, so I wrote this in the Hidden's Discord for the One Piece video, but I have a theory that the flames of One Piece characters have to do with the Roman sacred fire of Vesta. Ooh, I will definitely be checking that out, because One Piece 2, Hidden also said there's gonna be a lot of. We came up with One Piece 2 enough for like a video in maybe like 20 minutes of conversations, but we couldn't continue it because we both had priorities, so we stopped it. And in those, that it was gold, and we barely scratched the surface. 100%. I'm telling you, the way that conversation started, I was like, Hidden, the first arc is Roman's Dawn. Like, it's literally based off of Rome. Like the first, so that wasn't it. We definitely have a lot more to talk about. It's exciting stuff. So that video will be posted on my channel. And it'll be Hidden will have a large part in that video for sure. Yo, finally here. Do you think Mihawk was doing before? But I answered that in the previous Voice of All Things. If one of my moderators knows, remember, I think it was Voice of All Things 8 or 7. It's probably 8. I don't want to go through it right now because it ended up being longer. Oh no, it was the one with Sai, I think. So Voice of All Things 7. So you'll see Sai. I collabed with Sai and I brought it up maybe midway through. I would check that out. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna bring it up here because it's just too long. But I will bring it up in a video soon. So What is the power of Luffy's devil fruit if Nika has a rubbery body? Same as Dragon. Must have another power, right? Right now, we need to learn more about it. Right now, my current thing is the Shadows thing, right? The Shadows theory is my strongest theory around Luffy's current power manifestation. Let's see. Tulazi. Ooh, new first time chat. Welcome. I mean, one of the Gorosei was sad when they gave the order to destroy it. Oh yeah, the one that looked like Gonfall, right? That guy. Par, you gotta mention random. Wait, what is this talking about? Par, you gotta mention random crowd to stop conversation. It'd be hilarious. Everyone about Zoro going on. Yeah, Zoro's a plant. Everyone just pause. Oh no, 100%. Brago's that was my tactic in Brago's podcast or thing after 10:53. They were off on something, and then I just out of pocket was just like, "Yo, what about the D? I'm looking for the D." And everyone's just like, "Bro, what's happening?" Pause. Like, and everyone laughed. That's my goal. I just want everyone to have a good time. And the throne is a miniature. Emu is a Tontada. Yo, okay. If you guys watch my Vegapunk video, I love, low key, I love all of the theories where Tontadas are like in random places, like Vegapunk. If Vegapunk was just a Tontada with a giant mechabot, that'd be hilarious. I'm not saying that's gonna happen. I'm not saying that's my favorite plotline. I'm just saying that'd be super funny. If Emu was a Tontada, hilarious. I don't know if it's the best plot line, but it'd be funny. So definitely interesting thought. If you got stuff to back it up, then that's crazy. If Emu's a girl, do you think Sanji simps? Yes. Someone on my Sanji video was basically like, wait, the girl you're describing that Sanji would marry is either on Elbaf or is Emu, because the Chamber of Flowers, everything. It would be crazy. Yo, Mamoose, what's up? What is up? DPDC, I think you just got to say what you're saying with your chest. Run with what you say as if it's a fact, and that would seem more combative. That may be what they mean. Oh, yeah. No. 100, like, confidence is going to definitely be involved. And that's why I started streaming, right? I needed to build that confidence. And you guys gave me the proper confidence boost. What do you think about Gorosei having a traitor like Evil said? I don't know his theory about that, but Gorosei having a traitor would be interesting, right? It's not someone actually brought this up. Morgan's, right? He has a devil fruit. He has the albatross devil fruit, if I'm correct, and that means he's like Chopper, just permanently in his transformed form, never in his base state, which is a very interesting plotline, because that almost makes it feel like we haven't seen the human form because we would recognize the human form, right? Like, why else would you make this character permanently in their thing and they're so important? If we're hiding the human form, maybe we know the human form, whether it's a kingdom, whether it's an important thing. I think that's the current plot line with Morgans, right? Not saying that Morgans is the Gorosei, right? Because that wouldn't make sense with the recent chapter. I'm just saying that when it comes to what we see on the world government end of things, anything scaling from the Morgans to the Gorosei, there's plot twists ready to be made, 100%. The only thing that right now I'm not concrete, but I would say Amatsuki Celestial Dragons, that Gorosei member is Amatsuki 0. It just makes too much sense. Do you think Yamato has the capacity to simp for anyone other than Odin and Luffy? What if human form is Joy Boy's non-sun god form? That would be interesting, We just gotta learn more, banter. Morgans is hiding his identity from the world government for sure. You think it's from the world government, or do you think it's just from the viewers? Because that is an interesting, it could be both too. Axe Hand Morgans is Morgans confirmed. Yo, not gonna lie, if I had that showing, I would hide myself too. I asked about Oni Ogre things, specifically 1025, 8 pages from the end. Are we talking about the Oni princess when Kaido says that she's the Oni princess? I'm pretty sure that's that chapter. Yeah, 100%. We have no clarifications about that yet, which is one of the things I think we have to get clarifications. I said this in previous streams too. I don't think there's a single mega theory that can properly attach the ancient giants and Onis to any theory because we don't have enough information about them. The only thing is that Skypean map where it looks like an ancient giant's on the map, right? That's the only thing outside of like actually an ancient giant or like numbers that they show up in. Also, quick question, but I think I'm gonna end the stream soonish because wow, it's 8:13. But how's this camera angle? I think this camera angle is better than what it usually was on previous things because this might be what I run with for the Reverie. I think it's good. I'm gonna wear a brighter shirt and that kind of thing, but I think this is solid. I think this is pretty solid. If his identity was known, the world government would probably take him out because of all the non-skewed he has released. But don't you think they would just take him out because of the headlines? You know? Color the hair blue and it's... My hair? Wait, who are we talking about? Wait, I believe he hides his human form. Wait, are you talking about my hair to turn it blue? That'd be wild. Most definitely in the world government, if they don't know his real face, they won't know his real family unless Morgan's gave his full name to them. Yeah, do we know Morgan's real name? Or is it just Morgan's? Big news Morgan's. Can't wait to see the ParVision Revery fit. I mean, I'm just going with something regular. You know, I'm just going with the plain, nothing too crazy. What I usually do, Professor... I'm not going for the Professor Par thing. I might... The Professor Par might make a cameo if he's pulled out, right? I gotta put on the glasses. Oh God, is Jay's still in the chat probably. So he might have heard that and he might put me on the spot for that. So I'm not gonna say much more, but... Oh no, he came on my voice of all things. He knows the fit, so. You're going to do well. Kill them with your theories. Thank you, Made Madness. Thank you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Yes, 3Day. Thank you for reminding me. If you guys enjoyed this stream, I hope you did. This is one of my, I keep on saying the voice of all things keep getting better with every episode, but this one was intentionally made to be better than previous episodes, and now I don't know if I can confidently say the next episode will be better because like Hidden Island is just an incredible guest, right? Incredible Buster Call guest. Big D News Morgans, lol. Do great tomorrow. Don't stress. Thank you. The main thing, I just wanted to get a camera. Everyone else has better camera angles, so I think this is better. I think this is more like I can come up on the thing and just like assert myself, Are you slandering my guy Buggy? Right? How are you gonna, like you can't. Oh God, there's a lot of, maybe I won't get that close, but that's what I gotta say. I can't wait for Par to just Buster Call Tekking out of nowhere. Yo, I can't wait to talk to Tekking. If Jay is here, actually, I was just wondering, isn't Tekking on vacation? Is Tekking coming to the Reverie? I mean, is Tekking gonna be here? He has like Law Week, right? So I don't even know if he's here. I think I forget if he's gonna be here, but I think he's gonna be here. Morgan's is the guy that was in the picture of volume 25 and had the goat on there. That guy's name was Masters. He was the guy who caught Buggy searching for Captain John's treasure, I believe. I heard he would try to make an appearance. Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. Better not hear any Puggy slander. Yo, I'm gonna bring up if we're talking about like live action or like external things to like the canon stuff, I'm gonna be like, yo, I want to see Puggy in the story. Maybe how crazy would it be if Puggy actually ended up being in the story, because Puggy doesn't have a devil fruit, so he could be brought into the story, but I doubt it. But it would be wild. If Puggy was canon, there would be no argument that Buggy is a Yonko. If Puggy, we're talking about a guy that apparently can fight both Sanji and Zoro, right? So there would be no doubt that he would deserve Yonko just off of Puggy existence, right? Like, so let's see. Tekking is still in California. Yeah, I heard. Murphy's gonna be president of Reverie. Yes, she will be. ParVision, we know the Davy back fight has to make a comeback, but who do you think the Straw Hats will fight? I think the Davy back fight will come back, but maybe not explicitly. I think the lore of it will come back. If it does, though, it might be like an epilogue thing. see Evil's theory on what? No, I did not. So I mean, my viewers generally know this is like I don't typically watch other theories, especially the larger ones. It's only a coincidence that Hidden and I talked about ours because we were separate both ways. But when it comes to like larger span, I think Randy also has the same thing. He doesn't even want to put out a theory on the Void Century, right? But yeah, I don't look at like large spanning theories for the most part. But I will later on, like maybe towards the end of this year, if I can get more of my thoughts out first, then I'll be reviewing a lot of the theories on my channel eventually. What about Davy Jones? Davy Jones. You mean AVD Jones? No, I'm joking. Davy Jones, I don't know where to fit him in. I think he might be related time period wise with Nika. Like he might be the world government stuff. Like it's interesting. Like where because if Davy Jones could either be, the story about him could be true and he's like the most infamous pirate or whatever, and then he would be on the side of the Ancient Kingdom, and that would work with Hidden's theory both ways, where he could also be the world government side. He could have been a pirate on that side too. But I have a theory about the Davy back fights and Davy Jones that puts him more on the Ancient Kingdom side. Really interesting stuff we covered in the last watch party. Yo, yes, 100%. Large spanning theories, I would really recommend Red Line theory. Like a theory about the Red Line. I mean, that is the largest spanning theory, that's for sure. Puggy, I miss, just on the One Piece wiki, go look at Puggy. It's insane. Manu Migos. Hopefully I said that right. Thank you for Thank you for the 4 months. Wow. Incredible. I was about to end stream and then, you popped in here. Luffy has passed 1050 chapters and still hasn't found the One Piece. I'm gonna go get a boat and look for it myself. Shake my head. Wish me luck. I'm moving overseas next month. Oh, you're oh, okay. I was like, wait, how are you? I didn't recognize your name, but yo, Jod Manu. Appreciate you. Are you moving overseas closer to the US? Wait, I forget. I'm forgetting, but I'm pretty sure. I don't want to get this wrong. South America, right? I think I was right. Yo, good luck with the move. And honestly, I don't disagree with you. But if you were here earlier, I would say go check out Hidden Islands channel because he El Salvador. Yeah, all right, got you. My bad. I'm forgetting that. I had the area. But what's it called? Hidden has a great theory on the One Piece we talked about earlier in the VOD today, or VOD, the stream today. Oh, and that being said, if you guys are still here and you missed the beginning part of this stream, go check out my second channel, ParVision VODs. Go subscribe. All my streams get posted there, and extra stuff. My TikToks are being posted there as well. So there's a lot of things happening. And yeah, the VODs channel is a nice place to be. I'm definitely in there more often than not. Short trip to Andorra and Europe. All right, enjoy it, bro. Buggy became a Yonko by splitting the sky with the Baro Awakening. Yo, we're going to be talking about that 100%. Buggy's literally going to kill some big bad in the series. Pirate skills aren't going to know what to do. I'm telling you, Shanks is going to sacrifice himself for Buggy. People are going to be upset, but I mean, it's just the way the cookie crumbles, right? I'm in first. All right, so I'm gonna look at some of the chats and then I'm gonna wind out. Thank you guys for being here. You guys are here like for the entirety of the thing. I really, truthfully hope you enjoyed it. I gotta get cracking on this video. Otherwise, I would stay here longer, right? I would stay here forever. You guys already know that. You guys baited me into a 5-hour stream last week, an 8-hour stream before. Like, bro. And usually on stream days, I block off time so that like I could run extra time. So it's a great thing we have going here. But I'm gonna look at these last few chats that are here, and then I'm gonna peace out. I think I've done all the announcement plugins. If you're not following on Discord, if you're not on Twitter, please go there. You probably if you're not a new viewer, you're probably already there. the current members, you know what's funny? I'm not even in the Discord right now because I'm so busy, and then the Reverie, all that stuff. But yo, like, how many people have been complimenting my server and I'm not even there? I'm like, yo, wait, hold on. Don't say such amazing things about the Discord while I'm not even there. Like, it's funny. Mr. Boost, I enjoyed it a lot, Parv. Thanks for the stream. Thanks for being here, Mr. Boost. I'm sorry if I saw your chat. Oh, and another clarification. If I didn't see your chat now, 100%, I typically rewatch, not the entirety, but I go through because I know what I'm talking about. I go through it and I see all the chats. So I recognize your names. I see what you're saying. And so if you guys said stuff, I'll definitely keep tabs on that. And I did mention this. Memory is how my channel functions. My scripts are generally a lot easier to write because they're all from memory, and then I have to fact check them. And usually my fact checks are fine because the memories are fine. Sometimes my chapter's off by like a few chapters, but in general we're good. Reverie hype, can't wait for tomorrow. Me either. It's gonna be fun. Want to hear? I can send you on Discord. I have a theory on what the One Piece is and how the poneglyphs are. And One Piece 2 dream. I got it from your Shadows theory. I will be interested in it. I probably put it in the Discord. I'll definitely check it out, and if I miss it, I'll ask a mod to forward it to me. But I probably not until like the break month is over. There's just a lot going on. I mean, I was already burnt out. Oh yeah, some of you guys didn't even know. I'm also streaming on Twitch. So if you guys see in the chat, there's chats that you guys don't see. It's on the Twitch chat. I stream on Twitch. I mean, I don't want to say like whenever I stream on YouTube, it's usually on Twitch. But I also have watch parties on Twitch only. And so this week I just had a random stream on Monday. I was just like burnt out and I was just like chilling. I was playing League or whatever. I don't remember what day that was, but I work, so no problem. Just listening. Got you. Is Reverie going to? Yes, it is a live stream. It starts at 3 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. Does that we're gonna see Conqueror's coding? Yes, Buggy's gonna get Conquerors from Shanks' death. Damn, I'm late. It's all good. Come through the VODs channel. It was incredible time regardless. If Celestial Dragons are pirates, maybe they won the throne in Davy Backfight. That's why Roger laughed. Oh my god, that would be so funny. 3-day. The wavelength is real. The wavelength is here. There's a reason why Hidden didn't include some things. There's a reason why I'm not including some things. But that doesn't mean it's not going to be included later on. Because we do got to figure out what the laugh tale is, right? Hidden did say that was one of the biggest regrets of that video. Not including why Roger left. Now, he didn't say he didn't know why. He didn't say he didn't have an answer. We did talk about that. We have a few options. Incredible options, in my opinion. I don't know when we'd be able to get them out. But they're coming. I saw Roger and GARP's fight was a Davy back fight. It'd be interesting. I don't know if Davy back fights were that relevant now, but that's not to say that they won't be relevant for a specific line that I say in my next video. Oh, and also I'm only leaving you guys so that I can work on a video that you guys can watch tomorrow, right? So I'm trying to get this video out before Reverie. I'll probably message Jay if he's not here yet. I gotta set up the raid thing so I can raid his stream tomorrow. Buggy Shanks are brothers. I like that idea. Not the same as Luffy and Ace, but they tight. Yeah. 100%. All right, guys. I am hungry. I usually after a Voice of All Things stream, I do a watch party, so I get dinner, all that jazz. But today is not. Today is Thursday. So if you're new here, I just want to clarify today's stream, the Voice of All Things. So I didn't intro it incredibly well, but here we go. Thank you for listening to the Voice of All Things with your host ParVision. I hope you enjoyed it. Typically we stream on the weekends. I'm moving the Voice of All Things, I think officially to Sundays around 3 p.m. Eastern time. If not 2 p.m. I got to check my schedule the next few weeks, but we're doing Sundays. It's just better that way, I think. So we're going to do that. And typically on Thursdays, I still stream. But on Thursdays, we're going to start doing this thing called a knock-up stream where we all get knocked up together by Oda. Because Oda, well, TCB, but Oda puts out a banger chapter and we live react and we get knocked up. That's the truth of it. So Thursday is usually the knock-up stream. But I had to get this stream out before Hidden left for Japan. And again, he's not here right now, but if not, I will be stream watching his vlogs because I'm so excited for it. Yeah, I can't tell you. I don't know how many of you guys want to go to Japan, but my best friend, he's Japanese. Like, I've been trying to plan a trip, but the pandemic and my health and stuff like that, just life keeps getting in the way. But like, I want to go to Japan, and Hidden has, like, his wife is Japanese and he's gonna be with family, and so he's gonna have a perspective I won't even necessarily get. I mean, my best friend is Japanese, so his family is awesome. But that being said, like, it's a perspective that we don't normally get, and I'm so happy that he's gonna be sharing. I'm so grateful that he's gonna be sharing it with us. He doesn't have to, but yeah, such a great stream. Hidden was amazing. Yes. And again, this stream was also done in conjunction with Hidden Island's newest video that he posted today. So if you guys haven't watched it, please go watch it. It's very complimentary to my video. We talked about it lightly, but like it's absurd. It's absurd. We came up with most of the stuff separate, and then we were just like, wait a second, we could just make a mega theory. Like, if we were the same channel, that's what we would do, you know? Damn, you know I made it when I had these bots, and they have no chill. Like, I'm ending the stream and they're out here, right? We all get knocked up. Yup, knocked up and knocked out. One way or the other, it's gonna happen. All right, guys. Thank you guys for coming through. If you're not in the Discord, come through, because while I'm in Revery, I'm gonna be talking to you guys. I'm whispering that just in case Jay's here. He's not gonna hear me because he's not gonna have me out loud. But that being said, thank you guys for coming through. Welcome if you're new, and there's a lot more videos in play. If anything, like, it's just the tip of the iceberg. So I can't wait to see more of you guys. Streams are the best places to be, and see you guys in the comments section, the Discord thing. Later, guys. Hope you guys had a great time listening to the Voice of All Things, episode 10.